and go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to the Lemons iRacing League. I am Eric Rude, everything bagel at the 24 hours of Lemons. Thank you all for wasting another glorious Sunday night of your life following this vague attempt at entertainment. We're really glad to have you here on Memorial Day weekend. I know there was supposed to be some other big race. You get this instead. It'll be a thing. It'll be a thing that's going to happen tonight. Tonight we finish. Nope, that's an old read. Good job, Eric.
Read it anyway. It's festive and it's for history.
That's right. This is, of course, my broadcast partner tonight, Ryan Bauer, aka the Bearded Sim Racer, and we are at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing great, Eric. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic. It is super hot here in Chicago, so it's nice to sit in the air conditioning and watch a bunch of people working hard at virtually sucking. So this should be an entertaining evening of that. Tonight is a 2-hour endurance race at Barber, which is one of our favorite tracks. Great place, cool technical track to race on, has a really amazing museum if you've never been there. Carve that out in your life schedule, spend a couple days at the Barber Museum, and it gives us a place in the Deep South to go lemonsing. So looking forward to this one.
Yeah, definitely an awesome track. All the elevation changes, the cool metal spider. I know IndyCar's here. It's my favorite race of the season for the IndyCars, and get a good look now at the hairpin turn that's going to be most excellent blind corner going down the hill. So we'll keep an eye out there tonight, and we do have 32 cars, 32 teams out here tonight. Looks like a good mixture of different classes, almost thirds in classes, so that's pretty cool to see. Looks like 8 Class A cars, 14 of the Class B cars, and like 8 of the Class C cars. So that's pretty good mixture tonight, and it'll be exciting to see how entertaining it can be for those 2 hours.
Yeah, totally. So should explain the classes a little bit. So in real Lemons, we have 3 classes, A, B, and C. So we see one of the Camaros in A class. It's the Bear Pope car with fresh paint on it this time. We'll talk a little bit more about the paint jobs. We got so much time to fill.
We definitely have time to talk about the paint jobs. Ooh, sweet High Life scheme there, Christopher Foot.
Really good.
Yeah, footy.
Good. So
yeah, excellent.
These are Class A cars. These they call them street stocks in the game. They're obviously based on a 78 Camaro, and we also have some Mustangs in there. It's a newer Mustang than you'd see in Lemons, but we get plenty of the older generation Mustangs and Lemons, SN95s and Fox bodies. So we thought we'd include that. Class B.
And these Mustangs are super fragile too, so while they may handle better than the street stock, you definitely have to play it safe compared to what you can do with that street stock.
That's right. It's an interesting balance of stuff, which is what you find in real life Lemons also. You know, the car that's fast isn't necessarily durable.
Exactly.
So
that's great. It's great how that worked out.
Yeah, it's almost like we planned it, even though we didn't. That the Jetta back there in the Tarp Racing Hatsune Miku livery is a Class B car as well, and also in Class B are the Global MX-5 Cup cars, which are like the current generation of Miata.
There's one.
Little peek at one there. That's an ND, they call that, I believe. It's Charles Girard well off the track there in the Piss Foster livery.
It's
That's
like
really
he knew
good.
He was on screen, you know?
That's right.
He had a feeling.
Piss Foster. That's
right.
really, really good.
That is good.
And then also in Class C, moving on to Class C, we'll have Pontiac Solstice, which is a car that really has started to show up in Lemons.
That's amazing. That really is great.
And then also there's the older generation Miata in Class C with right-hand drive. So those are your 3 classes.
There's one.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Jesse Ports, Lemons Rally veteran in a Lexus LS400. It's a great car as well. Miata is totally the same thing, by the way.
Yep, sure.
This is V8 Lexus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good team there, name there with Devo Local 33.5. Much appreciate that one. Hey, it's Chris Champion. Good to see Chris Champion racing virtually. He's part of the Tetanus Racing crew. I believe he'll be racing with Anton Lovett from the looks of it.
A lot of good looking stencils on that car.
Yep. Chris Champion, part of the Tetanus Racing crew, as I mentioned earlier. Raced out of Houston. They have about 37 million cars and members at this point. Started off with just a Dodge Neon, which is still racing 12 years later with the original engine in it, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
ACR Speed asking if Phil will be present. He will. He's having dinner at the moment, probably tied up for another 45 minutes or an hour. Hang on, and you will get plenty of Judge Phil.
Hi there, MR Frisbee. Hope you're having a great night. And Joe80 on Twitch. We appreciate you inflating our viewership like that. That is some true dedication that you're watching on 2 devices at once just for us. That is most excellent. Yeah, Judge Phil will be joining us tonight. And a special shout out just for Matt's GT on YouTube.
There you go. We are in practice at the moment, so we got about 26 minutes. 26 and minutes. There we go. This is how my day's going.
We got some change. Yeah,
there's some change.
It's good they put the Tic Tacs on the Mustang. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's is that Benetton? That's supposed to be the F1.
Yeah,
90s F1.
Yes. It's the colors are certainly right.
Mm-hmm. The colors of Benetton.
Let's get a look at the Tic Tac advert. Oh, and there's an Obama writing instrument sticker on there too.
TikTok. Yes,
that's excellent.
I like the end plate on the wing said shoe for some reason. That's probably a joke I don't understand.
Yeah, it does. That's great.
TP also good. That is what you win. We should mention if you win one of these races in any of the classes, we will send you a roll of toilet paper in the mail. That is the grand prize for winning a Lemons High race.
And it is grand at that.
All right. Adam Harrison asking how the $500 limit works in iRacing. You know, it would be nice if iRacing would provide us with Simcas and Austin Minis and Austin Allegros and things like that to put on the track. But we kind of got to make do with what we have. The main rule we have is that you have to make your car look lemony as much as you can. So
absolutely.
Randy Bish there in the yellow GTI, or not GTI, Jetta TDI.
Yeah, it's the JTI.
There we go. Let's roll with that.
Great team name there too. That's the Donnie Iris machine.
That is the Donnie Iris machine. So you Yinzers from Pittsburgh will know Yins like Donnie Iris.
That's great. I can smell the beer from here.
That's right. Iron City beer. As I mistakenly said that Yinzers drink Yingling, which is some kind of incredible Pennsylvania faux pas, I learned. So if you're from Pittsburgh, you drink Iron City. If you're from Philadelphia, you drink Yingling. This is the kind of information that we're bringing you live on a Sunday night as we get ready for an endurance race.
The Speedster on Twitch says we need to try Automobilista. They have old crap cans on there. We can definitely do that, Speedster, sometime. We were trying to figure out a way to do Wreckfest, and then that the spectating on that's not great. So we'll have to look into Automobilista and see if that's something we can do with that. So
excellent. Matthew Cox says, "You go because I won't."
That's right.
Classic joke right there. Kyle P asking what the corner of the night is. That is a great question.
That is a great question.
It is turn 1. We'll see if we can get our
there you go.
Turn 1. There it is. That is turn 1, presented by Sandals Resort Birmingham. Sandals Resort Birmingham is your all-inclusive getaway destination where you'll be pampered with perks like daily 30 racks of Bud Light and access to your uncle's 87 iRock Z. What got some Jegs heads and a big old cam, just gotta get it put back together. And it has an invested value of probably like, 12 grand. Sign up today for our special limited time offer for Mustang vs. Camaro trash talking lessons, which includes a free Pissing Calvin decal. That's Sandals Resort Birmingham. Look us up on the web. There's turn 1 right there.
Boom.
Sandals Birmingham.
Boom. That was excellent. Definitely a lot of your journalistic talents went into that read for sure. That's awesome.
That's right. That is practice writing press releases.
Someone in chat wants to know if the toilet paper, what brand it is, the prize, and if it's 1-ply or 2.
It's 2-ply is what I have because it's really hard to find single-ply. It turns out. I don't know if I have to shop at like a gas station supply company for that or what.
So whatever place work gets their toilet paper from.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Anyone that's ever had a job where you poop on the clock, the toilet paper's never great.
Yeah, it's about as bad as you can get. Although, my parents they use single-ply, so I
saw the car. I had to hit the button.
That's right. Howard Dean on the car. One of our favorite soundboard options, always going there. Somebody says party supply places sell 1-ply. All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Kat, for that information. We appreciate it. And P-Books, I agree, Wreckfest would be amazing to see. And even if we just all go race together and then maybe post-produce some type of content for the fans, we may end up doing that too. Or maybe races with the fans where a couple of us can be streaming and we could put that on the screen at the same time. So that's something we've considered too. So if anybody out in chat has Wreckfest is interested in that, I know me and Sean Yoder were talking about doing a Lemons Wreckfest party. So yeah. That should be
one
fun.
of the other things that I'm totally, if it's not an official Lemons thing and just a bunch of people want to go set up some kind of Lemons thing and hang out with other Lemons people playing video games, that's totally cool with us.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Gonna have to get a replay of that one.
Yeah. Boy, that was the line drawing car.
Blind corner. Nothing. Yeah. Been there, Lee.
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
Oh, that's our first
F in chat
of the evening. Yep.
Say F's in chat for Lee Berry.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep a tally mark
of how many.
Keep chicken scratches of.
Yes. Of there's another look here. At that.
Super slow mo.
Ooh.
Right on the door. That's not a good place to get hit. Turns out.
I like the almost cartwheel that the Jetta did. I'm gonna have to get some gyro cam of that.
It did catch some air. The important thing is that he probably didn't lift at all.
That's right. Never.
What you do in Jetta, as we've learned.
Oof. Yeah. Anticlimactic. That's okay though.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's see what else we got going on out here.
Yeah. Jared Duclos with the Bear Pope, which was a.
Love the vintage, 80s.
Yeah. Super rad.
Yeah, it is.
There we go.
Yep.
The Bear Pope name comes from their bicycle endurance racing team, which apparently the common refrains was, does the Pope wear a silly hat or something like that?
Yeah, and does the Pope wear a funny hat or does a bear shit in the woods? Right. Both in this case.
Combine those two Bear Pope.
Oof.
As he nerfs a Solstice out of the way there.
The Solstice driving it in deep. That is great. Excellent. That just goes to show you the terrible cornering ability of the Gen 2 Camaro.
That's right.
It is Gen 2, right? Before I get scalped in chat. Okay, late second gen. There we go. That works. Let's drop some new funk.
I do believe that the second gen Camaro was built for 13 years or something like that. It's very GM of them.
There we go. There's a sweet Camaro song.
It's like a CTA bus ahead of them. And painted as a CTA. Oh, there's a good spin and turn here.
Get you some of that.
And a little retribution as the Solstice goes back by him. There's Andrew Shembry. Good look there. Ooh, I like the Howard Dean hood. That's really good.
The door's pretty great too, though. oh yeah, no.
Howard Dean for 24. Oh, that's a great idea as well. Somebody please invite Howard Dean to come race with us in meat space.
That would be amazing.
Where was Howard Dean even from? These are things I should know. And he's from Vermont. Oh man, he should come to one of our New England races.
Oh, okay. Which Gen Camaro can corner? None of them. Sorry.
None of them. Yep, correct.
0.
0 Gen.
That's God, the Punterino. That's right, Zenki. Was it beautiful, and excellent. Ooh, the two bribed Slostices. See if I can figure out.
Oh yeah.
They're running together. Here they are. It's Christopher
Anton
Champion, and Anton. So the two of the Tetanus racing cars out here. Getting it done.
in matching paint. That's what's so great about the endurance race is it's almost like real lemons. You know, you have these two cars that are painted alike, both poorly driven as always.
Actually, that's required.
Great
yeah.
And yep, Chris off track as you do.
What song is the best Camaro song?
Oh man, Here I Go Again on My Own by Whitesnake. It's got to be in the top 5. Phil will have much to say about that. We'll have to table that one for Phil.
Yeah, maybe the 6th gen Will corner, but don't hold your breath.
There's always a dead milkman, always.
Yes, bitch and Camaro, absolutely.
Popular lemon song as well.
Ooh, excellent. Excellent Mustang here for Matt Murphy.
Excellent. Yeah, part of the TARP racing group with Hitsune Miku and the mermaid version of it. Oh my god.
Siren Media. That's great. It's excellent.
Now, is the badge on the back also? No, okay.
It's like a Ferrari jackal, like a goat Ferrari thing, maybe?
Oh, it's Totes My Goats.
Oh, Totes My Goats. Yeah. Nice. Excellent.
So TARP Racing are a bunch of like IT managers and lawyers from Texas and Oklahoma. So the whole Hitsune Miku weeb thing is a pretty funny juxtaposition for them.
Yes. Oh yeah, full yeet right there. Excellent.
Sweet yeet home Alabama right there. Let's work that one in a little bit.
That is good. I like that. I have to remember that.
Ooh, what's going on there with the black and white? Was that colored differently on one side and another? I missed that.
Was it a solstice?
Yeah. Black and, yeah, there it is.
Whoa, and a face. Wow, there's a lot going on there.
There is so much happening right there.
Okay, so we have the...
Every body panel is done differently, I guess. As he passes a jet.
Richard Nixon's face, of course.
Nixon's face, all right.
I like the roof. I think the roof is my favorite part.
Yeah, there's some lava lamp action on the roof.
Yeah, there we go, lava lamp.
Nice. On the side. You can't see a number at all, which is also a classic.
There's one there, but you know,
and the same color as what's behind it.
Oh, okay, yeah, which you guys love that, don't you?
Yeah, it's our favorite thing. It's some Janis Joplin Porsche Speedster action there on the back.
Very nicely done.
I don't know if nicely done is what I would say, but it's definitely
adequately done.
Yeah, it's there. There is a thing happening. That was really great.
Oh yeah,
I like that the right side looks nothing like anything else there.
It's not confusing at all. Ooh, some new look here for Wisconsin crap racing.
That's right.
Kingsford and Zippo on board this week.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
The hood is General Sherman, I believe.
Well, of course.
Barbecues for this weekend, of course, with
oh, yes, Memorial Day. Yes.
The South loves me, says General Sherman. And so this was the team, as Phil mentioned last week, there was some hubbub during, I don't know, it was around the same time as one of our races where there was yet another state where they were taking the Confederate flag down.
Oh, okay.
From the Capitol, and much hubbub was made about that. And being from Wisconsin, these guys dressed up their car as with a Civil War general, a replica of General Sherman on the roof, flipping the double middle finger. So
that's amazing.
Yep, it was pretty great. I think the North one. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Catch what it says on the trunk there. Let's get a good look at that.
The Willie Sherman Express, I'm guessing. That's perfect.
Excellent. Zippo and Kingsford. Yeah, there you go.
Oof, getting
That's
air.
a good ride over the curve.
Yes, that was. Apex everything. Jackie Stewart would be proud.
Maybe turn 1 should have been brought to you by dental work or something.
Oh.
Replacement dental work.
Yeah. Tighten this up a little bit until the melee happens.
Yeah.
There we go.
So again, Barber, very nice place in real life.
Too nice for us,
great
right?
big building there. Looking back down one was kind of like their everything building there, and there's a great pavilion you can watch from on both ends, which is just one of the best places to just stand and watch a race. So when we go there for lemons,
Is this the building you speak of?
Yep. So
Nice.
yeah, on the right side there's that second floor is a nice little terrace, and then the third floor on the far end.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Great
yeah, I see
place
it.
to watch a race. Yeah.
Nice. Good thought went into the architecture. We appreciate that as a spectator. Yeah, it's nice.
Barber's a place that I don't know, it's fantastic, really. It's way too nice for anything we do. Excellent. I like the easy ups on pit lane, which we don't allow at all. As the High Life cards doing Camaro things.
So why no easy ups? Because of wind?
Just because we don't let people hang out on a hot pit, just because more people
word.
amateurs fueling. I just tried to
that's
the museum term there also, which is not working out so great.
oof. I heard him coming, and I was like, oh boy, what are we gonna have here?
Narrow avoidance.
Yes, talent.
Tight tolerances. That's Bavarian Mechanical Rex who race a 5 Series BMW in real life. About halfway through a warm up here. Looks like. Oh wow! That was some interesting cornering dynamics there. Again, just Camaros doing Camaro stuff.
Are there ants on the hillside drinking Coca-Cola?
There are ants on the hillside somewhere.
Whoa, they're there. What is going on here? I've never seen this. I've never noticed this
Coca-Cola
before.
is, I'm gonna guess, done for the game.
Huh?
I don't think they actually have
I've never noticed that
bottles of
before.
Coke in real life. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, well, interesting. All right.
This shot, by the way, if you oh, never mind. There was somebody spinning in the background in a pink Jetta, but
Get it? We got time. Rewinding during broadcast.
It's right there.
Yeah, that's great.
It's fine. So association getting censored on the chat, which is great.
There it is.
Yeah.
Association. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot to fix that. Hold on. Sorry.
Fairstein Camp making some Chicago TV references.
There we go. Try the association again. The filters have been updated.
There we go.
Totally forgot about that from last week. I actually thought it was kind of funny that it was censoring things it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Oh, nice gaggle right here with the Lincoln. 3 wide.
Yes.
3 wide.
The Solstice wanted no part of getting punted by the much heavier car.
Oh, there goes the Camaro. Oh yeah, look out, Solstice. Oh, he made it. Wow, that was close. This is the corner I thought things would get interesting down here, not way back there, but that's a Camaro for you, making things interesting, even on a straightaway.
Let's look at the red Jetta there.
Number 6. Priority fail 2 electric boogaloo.
Saw a Portillo's logo on there.
And the eagle,
Chicago.
the real estate eagle too. Yeah, there's the Portillo's logo. Nice.
There's all
Empire
the Chicago
today, of course.
carpet.
Classic.
Eagle Man on the roof.
Jerry Springer on the trunk.
Oh, and there's Victory Auto Wreckers, famous commercial from Chicago. Ran unchanged for 25 years, I think.
Is that what's on the roof?
Yeah, that's what's on the roof.
That's great. That's great.
And Man Cow's Morning Show. Wow. And Peter Francis Geraci. That is every single Chicago television trope that's ever.
And the eagle.
Very well done,
The
Jake.
eagle comes out and educates you on insurance.
That's right. You might have to dig up the video
for the eagle. Yeah, that's right. Oh, nicely done, JP. Everyone over at Priority Fail 2 Electric Boogaloo. We know you put your heart into that. Good hour in Photoshop. Well done.
That was, yes, an hour well spent for
definitely
4 people in the world to get the joke.
New team that I didn't see last time, the Baltimoreans, that ran out of time painting their car, but it is lemon colored, so I'm going to let it slide this time.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Shelton and probably Carl Applegate, the Baltimoreans that I know, race BMW
Great.
in real life.
Nice. I do like the Sorry Miata, the roll bars that Yoder was so fond of. That they're very trippy.
Again, that would took more time to paint than the Chicago themed car.
Just a little bit. Ooh, here's another. Ooh, a Mustang. Ooh, good thing there was a barrier there between the crowd and the Mustang. That could have been dangerous. The car I don't remember seeing either.
Jay Becker with Mithrindir Motorsports.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Mithrindir Motorsports.
Well, it's a Lord of the Rings reference.
Oh yeah. Okay. Ooh, I like the beard on that wizard.
That is the most excellent Gandalf beard. It's like
Excellent.
Jay Becker, I believe, new to this. This is, I think, his first race, or he was racing last week in the no pedal, no wheel.
Yes.
Invitational. I don't remember
Yes.
with which controller, but
TD Eyesore Racing.
yeah, there's your CTA bus from Chicago. Lots of Chicago people doing this. It's great.
I'm from Illinois too, so I
It's the
totally.
403 bus to Damon, which is excellent. The Damon bus. I bet I've taken the Damon bus before.
I was gonna say, have you ridden the Aiden bus before? That's awesome.
Yep. I absolutely have.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's really good.
Wow.
What is that? Peppy the Frog and yep,
Yep. Good
I-
stuff.
that
Trippy.
car is made out of 4chan apparently.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't
Oof.
even know what to say about that. As he runs over the Pink Panther Solstice.
Yeah, I think that's all you can say. Another lemony TDI or TDAIE. I think is that
pronounced.
correct?
That's many years of practice pronouncing difficult names.
I was going with the Wayne's World reference there.
Oh, yeah. Wayne's World 2. Yes.
Yes.
Almost as good as the first one.
Yes. Team
Maybe
far
better.
from winning. I like that. Tom Lamino. Getting dirty with a group here. Chasing the champagne of beers. Oh.
Yep, that
Ooh,
saw that
oof.
coming. Yep.
Oof. Beautiful. Oh, 3 wide. Yes. Rubbins Racing.
Somehow
Was that
Tom came ahead there. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
that was
I understand how.
Schlavine lost it. It's not over yet.
Oh, hi.
Well, hello
Is it
there.
Yoder? Well, hello, Sean Yoder of Nemesis Lab. How are you this evening?
Hey.
I don't know.
Too early to tell?
It's been an interesting weekend of really, really, really hurting tires so far. So,
Go on.
drifting at Mid Pond. Woohoo!
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like the look of that when it was up, getting the left sides changed, missing the hood and the front bumper. Well done. Wonder if we can go back and see what happened, because I bet it's going to be great.
Peppy got swatted, is what
Peppy
happened.
did. Peppy got squished. Oh, coming into the pits. Oh,
That's always a
whoa.
good place to get clobbered.
Wait, what?
I think the Solstice came in at about
Uh,
190 miles an hour. Well, not 100. Nope, did it himself.
he was trying to Tony Hawk, I think, and it just didn't work out.
Is that where you ollie off the wall?
Yes, exactly. The use it like a vert ramp. Yeah.
Just about 3.5 minutes coming up on here till the main-ish event. Dax asks about a checker cab. We've had a checker cab in Lemons before.
Excellent.
I believe it has small block Chevy in it.
Front of the Cheaties Camaro. Excellent.
Yep. That's it's a combination of 3 different teams there, all slapped on there with the paint. So you have
Oof.
Amanda Tully's Cheshire Cat on the front. Tom Pyrex
Oh.
neighborhood trolley from Mr. Rogers in the middle, and the Cheaties car at the rear.
That's a great
Looks pretty good to
combination.
me.
Yeah, I like it. Again, a whole lot of time went into that. Well done. Oh, sweet.
It's like
The lime solstice is out there again. Nice.
That's right. The
Oof, love the body roll. Dude, that is awesome. Yes. Get some air.
the Maginot Lime is the
Yes.
solstice theme. Should be Brian Trainer and our friend Sam Goebel, better known as Soggy in Lemons.
There he is.
ACR Speed asking if it's just him or are the Camaros spinning way more often this week. I don't know what your frame of reference for Camaros is, but I think they're just being normal Camaros.
Yeah, it's great though. Know that.
I just jumped into your Mixer feed there, Ryan. Are we pretty close to live in Mixer right now, or no?
Should
We've been live.
Should be if you're on low latency.
I'm on low latency,
Should be.
lowish latency. There's a two solstice battle that I'm watching right now.
Yep. 1:30 on the timer, right now.
Yeah, we're close.
Good
We're
deal.
really close. That's impressive.
Good enough for Arca.
It's at least good enough for Arca.
Sorry, I've said that like my whole life. Sorry.
It might be good enough for USAC, which is yeah.
Hotness right here with Brian Trainer and the 09 of Gatorade. The Gatorade's Better Team Racing there for Garrett Shander.
Very good.
Gatorade.
Yeah, the water boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I'm just picturing Henry Winkler turning into a Cocker Spaniel. It's wrong. It's so, like I can't make it go away now.
Oh man.
Did you miss me?
Oh yeah, we did. Camaro celebrating in the background.
Tom Pyrek doing
Yeah.
donuts in the last moments of warm up
Oof.
and eating off into
Yeet- Yeet Home, Alabama here from Barber Motorsports Park.
That'll be $600 for the virtual grass and
Yeah.
another $250 to rake the gravel. Oddly enough, most people don't know this about Barber, but around the gravel traps at Barber, they have rakes just like golf courses. If you go in there, you're expected to rake everything back smooth on your way out.
replace your divots in
Yeah.
the gravel.
Shout out to the flag man that was waving the shit out of that checkered flag at the end of warm up too. That impresses me.
And how looks like we're on the grid.
Yep, let's do it.
The flag person in iRacing really looks like he's like tomahawking.
Yes.
Yeah.
His arm is
Braves
made-
fans will appreciate that.
Yep.
So yeah, Andrew Banah, Elazar Mann from the front row, Justin Esses, Anton Lovett starting in the second row. The third row, we've got Jesse Thomas and Christopher Champion. Excited to see Christopher race with us. Jesse Ports and Mike Porter in the fourth row. Brian Trainer and Matt Larson round out your top 10. Then you'll see Ben Sutton, Sean South, JP Murray, and Judge Phil's favorite racer, Tyler Stank, starting in the 14th position. In row 8, we've got Alan Evans and Carl Applegate. We've got Jay Becker and Kevin Hassler in row 9. And in row 10, we've got Peter Monin and Donald Gerhardt. Starting back in row 11, we've got Angus Pert and Tom Lamino. Row 12, we see Arthur Cady as the cars start to roll. Ryan Dunham also in row 12. Back in row 13, we see James Pancoast and Matt Murphy. Tom Pyrek and Matt Sitko start back in row 14. Nate Schlavine and Jordan Teal in row 15. Derek Davis and Andrew Andreve back in 32nd. Back in row 17, we've got Brandon Halls and Seth Goslowski starting in the 34th position. And way back in 35th, we've got Douglas Ellison. So we do have 35 teams out here tonight. So, woohoo!
That's right. You're supposed to have 2 drivers. I believe we have that set up. So should be 70 drivers in here at least. You can have more than that. So yeah, should be a interesting race. 2 hours on the clock to start, and the fuel should run about 30-ish minutes or so. So everybody will make 3 stops.
Several stops, and that is right. And Matthew, is it Matthew? Yeah, Matthew Cox, Yeet Home, Alabama. Let's keep that going tonight. That's right.
Did you say Mike Wazowski is in the field?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure. Yep.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
Yep.
Like Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Come on.
Huh?
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm there.
See, because he only has one eye. That's why the joke was.
Man, until you explained that, it was almost a joke. But then after you explained it, you pretty much just stomped the life out of it.
You see,
congratulations.
So he only had one eye. So the joke was about the eye.
About the eye and the Visine sponsorship that he needs.
Hey, just a reminder that when you vote this November, Mad Dog 2020. It's 2020, Mad Dog 2020.
I think
That
Fred
segue
Durst
couldn't
is his
have been
running
any
mate. Is that
better.
right?
Could not have been any better. Perfect segue.
Thanks.
That's right.
Yeet Home, Alabama.
That is absolutely right. I'm digging the red and black SDP.
Pretty good.
It is
Pretty
great.
good. The Pink Panther Solstice also looking spectacular.
All right, here we go. Time for the flag man to wave the shit out of that green flag, and let's get this thing underway.
He's not even there.
Oh, he's there.
Is he there? Okay, there.
Oh
he
yeah,
is.
he's there.
I
He's
see
holding
him.
it out.
I
He's
see him.
he's taunting with it. There he goes.
Oh,
He's getting it. He is getting it right now.
It's really like he's spanking something.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at him. He's just getting as we got cars wrecking on the straightaway. He's just waving the shit out of that flag.
A bad car. I dare you
Get off my track.
sideways on this.
Oof. I see. I see two cars. It's like 4 cars into one frame at once, and then 2 were straight to pit road. So that's how that works out.
Yep.
Nice battle for the lead here with Andrew Banat and Elazar Man. Oh, overdrove the corner, undercut. STP back to the lead. Excellent. That was crossover slide job at its finest.
Is that Matt Larson in 3rd from 10th on the grid?
Yes, it is.
And to the
Into
lead.
the lead.
Four
Into the
corners.
lead. Well played.
Leroy Jenkins.
That's right.
He just Jenkins the whole field, man.
Yep.
He's
The
got
superior quartering ability of the Mazda MX-5.
Well, it's also the paint job. The was it Racing for Holland? It's the Racing for Holland livery, I think.
I thought it was just Vans.
Could be that too.
Vans off the wall.
You don't remember that dome LMP, the Racing for Holland dome?
No, I know.
It was checker flagged.
Aha.
The Baltimoreans making moves here, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Applegate will go on board.
It's like he's about to get Yeet Home Alabama by Pat Mulry into the penultimate corner.
3 wide.
And some Howard Dean for good measure.
Coming at you, ladies and gentlemen, down the straightaway.
What's Bish driving tonight?
Bish is in the
yellow Jetta. Not
Yep.
that one.
Here it
The
comes.
one coming out of the straight.
We'll get that keyed up when he comes
Donnie
by.
Iris car.
Donnie. Yeah, I'm still hearing "Love Is Like a Rock" and Aaliyah, over
Excellent.
and over in my head.
Oh,
Now
he is
you know.
missing. He is missing a trunk.
Donnie Iris has escaped from the trunk. He was tied up in there.
I hope he was alive when he escaped. Wow. Looks painful.
Donnie Iris never dies.
There you go.
The good news is the Jetta would probably benefit from that if it could get a little turbulence off the roof into the trunk. A little more downforce is always a good thing.
Does it go fast enough to matter?
Actually, that car is not as slow as it's not as slow as the TDI would lead you to believe it is. It's fairly quick.
That surprises me.
A45, a bunch of numbers. Says
Yes.
we should do something with the Monte Carlo and the Thunderbird when they come out.
We will.
We will. We don't know
Yes.
what it'll be. It's definitely not going to be anything NASCAR-ish. They have way too much power to put into something like this, but we'll use it for something.
Yes.
And rallycross. Absolutely.
To be yet
Or,
to yet be created.
That's right.
Yes,
We have
the
an
League
idea
of legitimate Nigerian businessmen. That's right, Randy Bish, ladies and gentlemen.
Please check.
Either a rallycross or we could do 500 miles on the centripetal circuit. That'd be
Can
fun.
you race on the centripetal circuit?
I don't know.
I've never tried. I've
let's
gone
find
there.
out.
Yeah, so let's, because there was no inside wall, so that could get. Oh God, poor Randy.
Bish bished himself.
He
That's
did.
Donald Earhart, his teammate, driving it. But
Oh, okay.
Oh, they switched. Okay.
He
was in. Bish was in practice. Okay, gotcha.
I was like, holy crap, it's a self-bishing.
It's an internal team bishing. All right.
Yeah, if you can race the centripetal, man. Like
That would
500
be.
mile
Well,
centripetal
the
with the
figure
Monte
eight of
Carlo. and the
Irwindale
T-Bird.
is a hoot, though, for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, Irwindale is on our radar. I think we'd like to do a race where basically all the cars have to race in reverse. I think that might be good for the 87 Thunderbird and the Monte Carlo. But yeah, it'll be something silly. Exactly.
The 87 Thunderbird and the Monte Carlo on the Nürburgring. And then there was
That's
silence.
too fun. That's too fun.
Oh, I apologize.
I love the bear head with the Pope hat. I just noticed that.
And the Bear Pope, the font is the Baywatch font, which is even better. 'Cause now I'm picturing the Bear Pope running down the beach in Southern California in slow motion.
Oh man, now we need some David Hasselhoff cars.
We've had one actually in Lemons. We've had a few of them. There was the Team
course.
Euro Trash with a Jetta
Nice.
that had the portrait of David Hasselhoff in some kind of banana hammock hanging in their paddock all weekend, and playing the music as well.
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect.
'cause he's big in Germany.
He
right?
is. He is huge in Germany.
Yeah. And then we had the Hasselhoffs who raced a Toyota Paseo for 8 or 9 years. They're still around somewhere.
Good look at all the cars coming by.
What just happened? Now Steph's back with the dong comments.
Yeah, it's just how that rolls.
Okay, we can't really do anything
I
about
could
it.
filter dong, but because the association got filtered earlier, I had to fix that. Oh, this could be bad.
Yep.
That was just straight up punt, man.
With the eagle with the classic avoidance. I
Was
thought
it
there might
dong
be
in 16 Candles? It was dong, right?
yes.
Automobile.
Dong, where
Oh
is
God. Oh God.
that was
Oh,
not
God.
really how you're supposed to do that.
Blake.
Let's
Big
take
Blake.
let's take a look at that again. What must have been going through his brain here whenever he came over the hill and saw this?
If it's GM, it was probably a steering wheel.
Yes. Oh God.
Not sure who that was in the solstice, but they definitely died. So we're up to two fatalities for the evening.
There you go.
We
There's
had
a
us
look
in
at
chat.
Justin
We need some
Estes.
message chat.
Justin Estes.
Oh yeah, that would be
we-
another F in chat. That's 2 now.
Yep.
There they
That's
go.
Justin Estes, Florida man, with the Juggalo theme this evening, with Fago and Whoop Whoop on the side.
I could go for some orange Fago. I could go for some.
It's not called Orange Fago though. It has to have some kind of stupid name.
That's
It's
right.
just orange.
It's just
It's just.
No, I think it has a dumb name. I think you're right.
Does it?
I think so.
everything
I think
has a dumb
like
name. It's
here.
Fago.
Let's just pull it up. Let's just settle this right now.
Add that to our list of sponsors. Fago.
Well, apparently it is just orange. I'll be damned.
Well, I stand
I thought it
corrected.
had I thought it had a stupid name. I
I
apologize.
thought, like their flavors were like orange, red, purple. Like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I didn't think they were crazy.
Ooh, cotton candy, and it's only
I'm thinking of the
$16.99 for a
red.
2 liter
Red
on
has
Amazon.
some kind of really dumb name. It might just be Red Pop or something.
Hmm.
Clown blood.
That's really what we're talking about.
So, chat.
Mist. Moon Mist is the best
The
fake.
Moon Mist. That's the one that I was thinking of. That's the
What
citrus.
the
The citrus.
Heck
Yes.
is that?
And red is Red Pop. That's
Red
actually
Pop.
what it's called.
There you go, man.
Hey, all right.
What flavor is Faygo Red Pop? That is the top Google result
Tastes
for it.
like blue.
I already said it.
It tastes like red.
It totally tastes like clown blood.
Raging Nerf Herder Racing.
That's another good Star Wars reference.
I like it.
You're like Han Solo, but crappy.
Who owns Steph
So this
Peach
race is
Moonshine?
almost over, right? Like we're pretty much done.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think it ended before it started, didn't it?
I was glad that I remembered to add the H to the counter so it would display the hour, just so we don't
Excellent.
forget. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so
So who owes? Judge Phil in the house. Who owes Steph Peach Moonshine?
probably Florida Man Racing. Justin Estes can't provide that since he just died on the straightaway. So so
So
kinda stuck
the
there.
the F in chat / give me my moonshine. Gotcha. Ooh, how did I not notice this Camaro before?
Derek Davis. Fresh
Wow.
lemons. What is going on? Is that Smokey and the Bandit? Oh, it's a
It's a Cobra.
It's a
Mustang 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cobra.
wait a minute.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
That hurts my brain. Like
My favorite
so
part
bad
is the
hurts my
rookie stripe
brain.
on the back. That's what makes it for me. There's a lot of brake going on there, and I like it. Brake equals body
Number-
roll.
Who's in that car? Derek Davis.
Derek Davis.
All right, sweep the leg, Derek. Sweep the leg. It's
That's
a Cobra.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Sweep the leg.
There's, you look at it and
Oh, geez.
okay, I get
Oh,
it.
geez.
But the more
Oh,
you look
God.
at it, the more you realize there's a lot going on there. There's some
There
Cobra
is.
Kai elements. There's some Mustang 2 Cobra elements, and it's all in a Camaro, but it says Cobra 3 for some reason. Whatever's happening there, it's amazing. It makes
Yes.
your real life Lemons car look like that, Derek. And Matt Farinchak, because I know Matt's probably watching. Matt, paint your car like that. Don't
It
be
is
weak.
well done. It is well executed.
Cotton Candy Faygo is almost best Faygo, but too sweet. Thank you for that incredible insight as we get Faygo reviews going on.
I did mention cotton candy because when I went on Amazon, that was like the one that I saw. I was like, ooh, those we got some pit stops preemptively happening, I'm sure.
That looks like the colors of Benetton.
I'm trying to remember who that was.
No way. There's a Benetton car out there.
Yeah, it's got.
It's a
Oh,
Mustang.
I'm gonna
see,
love
it's a
that
Mustang
car.
on pit road, so it's got to be this one. There it is.
I don't know what that is.
It's got the
It's
TikTok.
Oh, it's like kind of sprite-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, seven. No, it's 7-Up. 7-Up.
You guys remember the 7-Up video game? Did you ever
Yes.
play it?
Spot.
Is that
The
the
spot.
Spot?
Yes, I did
Spot,
play that actually. Played a lot of 8-bit good stuff back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that one. I think I had that on our compact.
Ooh,
486
the right
version.
side on this one is used up. It's the
Just-
lime machine.
It's the Maginot Lime, of course, for you, history fans.
God.
So that in real life, Sam Goebbels, also known as Soggy, races a Simca 1204, which you may or may not know is a terrible, terrible French attempt at building a Mini. So he raced that for several years and wrote on the back, Maginot Line with an arrow to be passed on the left. And it said, just go around, which was one of the better World War II jokes you'll find in racing.
I was laughing at Steph Schrader in the YouTube chat. Hey, Judge Phil. She says that you could also bribe me with Peach Faygo, but only if you whoop whoop spray it around in my front yard.
Would appreciate that.
I hung out with some kids in high school that were into ICP, so that's extra funny.
You say while Insane Clown Posse is playing on your Krakow sound system in your 1970 Firebird, or like where are we going with
No, I think you're talking about Sparkomatic sound system in the 1984 Firebird.
Attica?
Sorry to interrupt, but I mean, we got to be correct here.
Well, Craig,
Sparkomatic
It's important to be correct.
is more Jogalic. Just gonna say. All right, you guys continue.
Glad to have you, Phil.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
How was your dinner?
Oh, it was fine. It was Korean scallion pancakes that my wife learned how to make because we're locked in here in the plague. So yeah, pretty good.
Excellent.
That sounds like something I want to try. I think now we need the sharing of the recipe, I believe, is what we need.
I don't know the recipe. It involves a lot of scallions, and I washed it down with some pretty good Pacific Northwest oatmeal stout that fellow Lemons judge and automotive journalist Andrew Gans brought over the other day. We had a socially distant backyard party where we shouted at each other across the backyard. It was not very intimate.
You had pretty good alcohol, and now you're here.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Well, actually, now I've actually broken out some more bribe scotch. What am I drinking now? I can't even remember.
As long as it evens itself out, we're fine. It's good.
I mean, I'm really just starting the drinking because I feel like I can't really get my total, Lemons Judge flow going unless I've had a couple of snorts. You know what I mean?
It's actually good racing happening at the moment for second place overall, by the way.
Oh, really?
Jordan Teal in the High Life car chasing the Bear Pope, the Camaro.
This is what you should call cameras set to most exciting.
We should refer to these Camaros as Firebirds, I think. I mean, they're pretty similar. Remember the Yellowbird and Bluebird and Redbird Firebirds from the second gen F bodies? Those are pretty sweet.
I don't know about those.
Yeah, so you could buy. There were Yellowbird, Redbird, and Bluebird edition ones where they had on the C-pillar you had like a. It wasn't really quite as dramatic a screaming chicken, but like a bird sticker in the color of your Firebird, and I think they had matching interior with the fake molded in vinyl stitching. Yeah, pretty fun cars. They were so much better than the Camaro. No, I'm just kidding. They were exactly the same thing as the Camaro.
Oh man. So
I actually put a RF body today.
I about died when I read that. Sparkomatic.
So Phil, as soon as Tastable Pizza in the comments says Sparkomatic sponsored an ICP tour in the 1990s.
Did they really? I can believe that. I mean, the idea, like, I think when I want to buy a device to play music in my car, something that's sparky, kind of like with an arcing, crackling sound, it just doesn't sound like a good name to me. You know what I mean? I mean, like Pioneer. There you go. You're pioneering fine audio or whatever, or even Krakow, or even what was Muntz, Madman Muntz, right? But Sparkomatic, you feel like you turn it on to listen to your Sniff in the Tears song, and you're just hearing, which you did. Although, I mean, people these days, kids these days, the ones that are on my lawn, don't really understand how, as recently as like the mid 90s, any kind of radio in your car cost a lot, and it was actually hard to find any sort of cassette deck in the junkyard until I'm going to say like 92, 93. People would steal factory AM radios. We've all become spoiled by how good even shitty car audio systems are. Like your terrible rental car, your Kia Reno, will have a sound system that sounds better than what most luxury cars had, in the mid 80s. So, all that said, Sparkomatic managed to kind of keep the torch burning for terrible audio, like well into the ICP era, and I have no problem imagining them sponsoring the Insane Clown Posse. And by the way, we are going to have the Shaggy 2 Dope running a Lemons race very soon. It's all been set up. We're going to pay him in zlotys, and he'll be in charge of safety too. So don't bring any safety gear to that one. We haven't scheduled it yet, but it'll be taking place in Slovenia
with loops and fire pits and
snakes. Yeah, snakes in a race car.
These snakes out of this race car. Yeah, that.
You can say it. This is I don't know. Is this like a PG rated broadcast? I think I've already used some profanity.
I didn't hear there.
Cast is marked not safe for kids, so have fun.
Okay, so we can talk about horrible, violent J things. Okay.
We can definitely talk about violent joy.
Like when you
things.
crash your K car into the drug bridge at the gathering, and
Yes.
okay, good. All right, and the things you scream as I can only imagine what the medical facilities at a gathering of the Juggalos might be like. Probably
Less than
medieval
adequate.
is my guess.
Medieval.
Well, they have leeches. I bet they have leeches. You can find leeches in Nelson Ledges. They come oozing out of the mud.
Nice.
They fix everything, really. That and colloidal silver.
Yeah, absolutely. Mercury too. Mercury.
You need
Oh yeah.
bleeding. That's leeches are there for that.
You know, vitamin PB, also known as lead, very important additive to moonshine offered to judges at lemons races. You really can't underestimate that as well. I mean, it's easy to get, you know, and it does everything. Is there anything that's not better with lead?
No.
I mean, you've heard
No,
about
there's really
the rash of fake paprika coming from Hungary that's dosed with lead because it makes it look more red. I mean, how much are you saving by using lead in your knockoff paprika, right? You know?
I assume if you're shipping anything from Hungary, your margins are pretty small. So,
Well, I mean, aren't you glad you have me on board this broadcast so we can talk about the important racing-related matters?
That's right.
So, anyway, we've got what looks like an all Yellowbird Firebird race going on here.
Excellent. There we go.
Oh, Miller High Life, nice.
We finally.
That Camaro looks very much like our Camaro in that it has the Camerica paint job on it, that red, white, and blue one that was on the screen.
So have they added the Toyota Echo sedan, or is that actually just another one of those Passats?
The Jetta?
Jetta, sorry.
Which
It
one?
was- I thought that was an Echo.
No, there's
It's
no.
definitely not an
Never mind.
Echo.
Damn it.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Toyota Echo is one of those race cars we'd like to see in lemons. By the way, it's like a creepy little Econobox that eventually evolved into the Scion XA and XB, and then into the Yaris. And they sold very badly. Toyota had this idea that in the early 2000s that, the reason we're not selling to young people is what they want is little tiny cars, little tiny efficient cars, because they're all broke. No, what they wanted was great big trucks that were really cheap. But anyway, Toyota didn't figure that out, so they created the Scion brand. So really what you've got with the Echo is the Proto Scion. So it's a Scion that's not even cool enough to be called a Scion. Perfect lemons car. I say you go ahead and get an Echo, put it in Class C. You could even cheat a little bit. That's fine. Go ahead.
The Echo has like a 12 horsepower Tecumseh for power.
No, it's actually, they're all over 100 horsepower. I was just looking this up, and in fact, the Echo 2-door only weighed like 10 pounds over a ton, 108 horsepower. So it actually had more power to weight than the base model Civic that year. And you can get it with a manual. I mean, I think that if you want to win Class C, you'd have a pretty good shot with an Echo. I mean, Echo 5-speed, 108 horsepower. It weighs a lot less than a ton once you take all the Sparkomatic audio hardware out of it. Show up, run away with Class C, laugh at all of us for our foolishness and putting you in Class C.
That's right. Steph Schrader pointing out that the early Echoes were the Prius. The first gen Prius was an Echo with the hybrid engine.
I don't know are they on the same platform? I thought the Prius was like a clean sheet of paper design.
No, I'm almost certain that's true.
It could be. I mean, they certainly had a. The Prius is so much bigger than the Echo, though. The Echo was tiny. The Echo was actually shorter than a Chevy Metro.
It's about the same size. I see one when I walk the dog in the neighborhood. There's one in the neighborhood. I'll get a picture of it.
An Echo that hasn't rusted to oblivion in Illinois.
I know. Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Officially double-digit viewers on Twitch, y'all.
Hey.
We love you.
Oh
We
man,
love
do
you.
we love our Twitch viewers better than our other viewers? Is that kind of
We
the deal
do.
here?
We got to give them the love.
There's a
Yes.
Florida man there in shot in the Solstice. Couple cars back.
Oh yeah, so
Which,
as soon
let's
as
see.
Possible Pizza wants to know, Echoes at the dash in the middle. That is correct. Like the Chevy Sonic and the new Mini and a bunch of other really, really affordable cars that were sold in both right-hand and left-hand drive markets. You put the Isra cluster in the middle. You don't have to build a different version for different parts of the country. You got to move the pedals over. It worked pretty well. Saved hundreds of yen.
the Toyota Echo was the car that launched regular car reviews as well. That was
Was it really?
Mr. Regular's daily driver that he made a video about as the sorry car clobbers the wall, looks like, on the main
Well,
side.
I just feel kind of bad because the Echo wasn't a terrible transportation appliance. It's just the problem was, so there was that Robin Williams movie, 1 Hour Photo, where Robin Williams played this really scary, creepy stalker. He drove a white Echo 2-door,
Yep.
you know, and after that, like, sales fell off a cliff like that minute because they're like, okay, it was sort of like the scary clown, you know, like you've got the happy clown honking his nose and all that. Next thing you know, he's a serial killer. It was kind of that thing with the Echo. And then, of course, September 11th happened, and the post-September 11th American car marketplace, cars got a lot more brutal. You had to be brutal to sell cars. Like, look at the Dodge Murder. Remember the Dodge Murder? Like, there was the Murder XLT and the Murder, so the Murder SRT4. Actually, I guess it was the Magnum and the Nitro and the Caliber. But I'm just saying, those are not friendly sounding names. If you look at those vehicles, the windows are just tiny. You're looking at little slits like you would in a gunboat. And so really the Echo was tall and narrow and cute, very Japanese. You could park it easily in, you know, cramped neighborhoods of Tokyo. It was not going to make it in the murderous car marketing era. I mean, there's just no way it was going to do it. But I think adding Robin Williams, the super creepy photo employee stalker, to that image, that was basically the stake through its heart. It's a perfect Lemons car.
Having the Plymouth Bludgeon, not the Toyota Echo.
The Plymouth Bludgeon was really an underrated car. We'd love to see one in Lemons. Actually, I'd like to see a team that just every time they race, they change their Chrysler, their mid-2000s Chrysler product to a different violent name.
That's a great idea, actually. We need
the Slaughter.
Yep.
The Chrysler Slaughter. I prefer the Chrysler Slaughter SXT just because it has some luxury features.
All will fail in comparison to the Rampage, though. The Rampage is definitely the best name.
Rampage, that's exactly. So when you've had enough at your workplace and you decide to go kill all your coworkers, what are you going to have? You're going to have a Rampage, right?
Damn right.
So
Picture a video game with like a giant gorilla, werewolf, and Godzilla, I think it was, climbing up buildings and knocking them down.
I'm just saying, this country after September 11th, it just turned us all into cowards and made us. We all wanted to have cars that were brutal.
Well, Phil, let me ask you this: in the movie Falling Down, why wasn't the main character driving a Rampage? Is that too
I
much?
think that was the pre-Rampage era, wasn't it? He drove a Chevette, as I recall.
Yeah.
Are we talking
So he
Michael
had to drive a
Douglas
car that
falling
was-
down?
Yeah.
He had to drive a
Oh,
car that
yeah.
was old at the time,
Right.
old and cheap to signify failure.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chevette's a pretty obvious one. I might.
That would have been a Murata.
So the Chevette was actually this is amazing. People never realize this. The Chevette was built until 1987. I mean,
Yeah, and the Rampage was also the Scamp as well, right?
yeah. In fact,
yeah.
well, you're right. Okay, it's true. The Rampage was the right era for that. Although the Rampage was a super futuristic design from the late 70s compared to the Chevette, which was a Brazilian Opel design from, I believe, the pre-internal combustion era. I believe it was from back when Brazil was still a Portuguese colony. So, really, I mean, you're kind of comparing apples to oranges here. But yeah, the kind of the funny thing was you could buy a Chevette the same year you could buy the Daewoo built Pontiac Le Mans, and it's saying something about the Chevette that the Le Mans was a nicer car. You know, Daewoo's most miserable subcompact from the era when South Korea still had a blood-soaked military dictatorship. I mean,
In the early
I'm not against cars from military dictatorships. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of the Taiwanese, the Feeling, another fine Nissan-based automobile. But when they stopped being military dictatorships with summary executions in the courtroom and all that, the car quality got a lot better. Look at Hyundai. Look at Hyundai from the Excels, which came from the military dictatorship era, and then like the early 90s Elantras and Sonatas. I mean, they're so much better when they had democracy. So really, Lemons is promoting democracy around the world by saying that cars got better when the countries they came from shed their military dictatorships.
There you go.
Yeah, and this is just like a NASCAR broadcast, isn't it?
We're
Yes.
just gonna put that on our next
It's better.
t-shirt.
It's better.
It's just gonna be that whole rant in text on a t-shirt.
Fun fact:
that
the
would be pretty small.
Le Mans was
Fun,
called
but
a
it would-
Daewoo Fantasy in Thailand.
Oh, the Daewoo Fantasy. Man,
In Thailand.
I can't imagine having a better driving experience
I can't imagine
Yeah.
having fantasy in Thailand. Nothing.
Was the Day with Fantasy commercial? Was it just like an Aldo Nova video?
Well, do you guys remember the Eagle Tri-State Murder Rampage? It was a special edition rampage made by Eagle.
That one, yeah. That was all-wheel drive, right?
That's what you. So you generally want to have those Tri-State Murder Rampages in small states because you can get across more of them before the man catches you.
Lift kit, 4x4, all that good stuff, right?
Well, I mean, the Murder Rampage was a front-wheel
Standard.
drive Simca based. I mean, I hate to break it to people, but all of the Shelby Chargers and all that, they were based on a French Simca design. So essentially, you're driving French when you drive one of those. Oh man, you know what? The P-body and actually not P-body, the L-body people are going to come after me pretty soon now. Like those Turismo Duster people, man, all 8 of them.
Oh, like the 80s
Shelby
one?
Shat.
I'm really disappointed. I'm very disappointed that no team has ever done the Cocaine Factory, mid 80s Turismo
Epson.
Duster theme.
F's in chat for Andre. Here we go.
Oh.
Oh, what happened there? That didn't even make sense.
that's worth the F's in chat. He had a moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like even for us. That was
The power. It looks like he dipped a left rear. Right there. Yep. Never lift.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Snap back. Woohoo!
Not as violent as usual for the F's in chat, but just because
He
it's a
just
Mustang.
spun for nothing.
Just
there. I'm
because
actually watching
just because it's a Mustang.
Yeah. But I mean, he was going straight ahead, and apparently one brake locked up. Actually, it was kind of Mustang.
He dipped the left rear under acceleration. And
All right, that's fine. I'm about 30 seconds behind you because I'm looking at the YouTube. Could you guys get me set up for the more live-ish broadcast?
Yeah, it's the one that I literally posted it within 5 seconds of you asking
that's
for
fine.
it.
This technology is really hard for old guys like
I'll
me.
hit you with that.
I'm still trying to start my
let me slide
scam.
into your DMs there, Judge Phil.
All right, there you go. Go ahead. My very first experience with Discord was for these races.
Hey, I'm glad that we could pop your cherry with a little bit of lemonade.
Exactly,
So creepy in the broadcast.
All right, so I got my Spark-O-Matic running now. We're good. All right, hang on here.
Excellent.
All right, here we go. Yes, I do want to see this. Okay, here we are.
Yep.
I mean, I like the YouTube broadcast as well because
you're good. You can still see the chat on. The cool thing about it is you can see the chat on there. Yeah.
It seems to be about 80% Steph Schrader typing dong, but that's fine.
Hey, you can see that here
like
too,
that?
so it's okay. There's by where the speaker is, there's a little gear icon. You're gonna want to click that, and then a box should pop up, and you want to check low latency if it's not already checked.
That sounds pretty complicated. Can I just hit it with a rock?
You can repeatedly.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
We should look at the number 6 car so Phil can see it also real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Rock, I'd like to point out that.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I see it here. Wait, what
It's
happened to it?
blinking.
Just
Of course,
disappeared.
it's blinking.
Oh, it's Derek.
Oh, that's pretty great. Oh, it's Steinkamp? Yeah, okay. Oh, Priority Fail 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, look at that.
Smoked Chris Champion. Pretty good there.
It's
See,
not
I
over.
gotta say, now that the whole Boogaloo thing has become this big right-wing meme, my boombox, my first homemade Junkyard Parts boombox was the Turbo 2 Electric Boogaloo, and now, I feel like
Wow.
it makes it look like I was first up there with my lug nut shotgun getting ready to kill the libs sort of rant, when in fact, no, it was because I went and saw that movie when it showed up at the drive-in I worked at.
How many cells did it take to run that? Was it like this 23D
that
cell?
poor Miata was just the poor
No,
cell
actually, it had a call
just
battery
minding
in
his
it.
own business.
So that was a
That's so bad.
Solstice leaving the pit on its
It's just
first
minding his own
lap out.
business. I
Made
think
about
we're
40.
gonna have to call Derek the Magic Man, because now you see him,
We
now you
should.
don't.
Can we get Derek in on the broadcast? I think he'd be a valuable addition to our broadcast crew
don't-
here.
I don't see him in
He
the.
probably doesn't have a mic.
Yeah, I don't see him in here.
All right. He'd be
Unfortunately.
perfect though.
So that was that champion that got wiped out.
It was Chris or whoever he's driving with, his teammate. Yeah.
So it looks like Derek just pitted himself on a solstice, which I mean happens a lot in real
Here
life.
we go. Here's a look at
Like
that.
you're reaching for the Sparkomatic knobs, you know, to get that. I don't know what would the band be? Dexy's Midnight Runners song turned up a little louder.
Damn right. Oh, just minding his own
I was thinking
business.
of that because it's COVID-19. It's like just such a catchy song.
The Jetta wasn't even anywhere close to the intended path. Like it's
No,
That's
it looked like it
what
was like
happens.
it had a
What happens,
solstice
Johnny?
magnet on.
pit stops underway for the leaders. We're half an hour in.
Oh, America! How do we love thee? I love the commercial.
This has their logo. In fact, I'm working on getting a mask, you know, a COVID mask made out of a tetanus T-shirt. So
There
I
you
can
go.
have the tetanus logo on my mask.
I actually have one of those that's soaked in ATF.
Cool.
So I need to cut out the logo and
I think ATF actually absorbs Furions better.
Wouldn't it be the K&N, like the filter lube stuff? Wouldn't that work really well?
Well, I've been told, and I'm not going to promise here, but I've been told that some automatic transmission fluids are vegetable oil based and therefore non-toxic. So don't try this at home, but it could be possible that it won't kill you.
What about the silver box paint?
Derek, well, he does not have a microphone. He would like us to know he's typing while he's driving. Bong hits for Jesus. So I guess that was actually when he went back to pit lane. He decided to get his 4-footer out and bring it on. So here we go. Actually, I guess when you're doing virtual racing, there's no limit to the size of the bong you could use. And that reminds me. So we had as a lemons penalty at Sue's Point one time. We decided, oh, this would be really funny. We'll get the Stony teams. We'll say, okay, you have to make a bong out of car parts, like stuff you can find in your pits. And we're going to rate you on how fast you can do it, because one thing, stoners are not the most productive people in the world, I'm just going to say, but when it comes to building something to smoke weed in, they're Thomas fucking Edison, you know, like they'll invent whatever it takes. So we told a certain team that drives a very stony brand of machine, which I'm going to call a Vanagon, might not actually have been a Vanagon. All right, you're getting the build a bong penalty. You know, don't use it because it'll be covered with grease and poisonous stuff, and I don't want you dying. But make us something that theoretically could be used as a bong out of car parts. And so they used, I believe it was actually a throttle body off of I don't know what, of course covered with toxic schmutz. And of course they had used it 15 times before they even showed up with it. And it showed up with about a quarter ounce of green bud stuffed in this giant homemade ball. Okay, so maybe that's too good a penalty. Yeah.
And it took them less time to build that.
Yeah, it took them.
Car pit stop.
It was about, I mean, if you include the time it took them to all hit it a few times, I'd say 4 minutes from the time we told them about the penalty to the time they actually produced it. And I mean, these are the same people that, you know, man, get them to fill out an employment application, it'll take them 3 hours. But, you know, get them to build a bong, it's several minutes.
bong hits for Jesus.
Oh, man. Is that Howard Dean? What's Howard Dean doing these days? Is he even alive?
I don't know.
He might be dead.
No, he's still alive.
I mean, did the scream really doom his campaign, or was it already doomed?
Well, he'd already lost the Iowa caucus. He finished like fourth or something. So, I mean...
But the scream was disconcerting, I mean, everyone kind of had to say.
It damn sure didn't help.
You're right. Well, I mean, there was the all-important, you know, scream-prone demographic, but they don't really vote.
You're saying the Screamo crowd doesn't really show up?
Why don't we have a Howard Dean themed Lemons team? That'd be a good one. You people building your cards for the next time we have a real flesh and blood and bent iron race. I mean, Howard Dean, good one. Or
So how about this for a tie-in to a cross?
Speaking of trippy, what the hell?
From Howard Dean's Wikipedia page, in December 2018, it was announced that Dean would be joining the advisory board of Tilray, one of the world's largest cannabis companies. There you go.
See, there you go. So that he could actually go on like their ads screaming. Yeah.
Are you too wound up? You need some Tilray.
you need some,
They're gonna
So-
play that clip and then show him after, show him now.
Just check.
Dudes,
you need some
so
Howard Dean into couch. Know you out.
tight, and then I found this stuff, dude.
Now I just don't care.
One
So is
more
Chong out of jail yet, by the way? I mean, I know he ended up doing time for selling bongs, which seems like, especially since he's a Canadian citizen, like one of the most ridiculous travesties of justice I've ever heard of is Tommy Chong went to jail for having an online bong business. Can we get a Chong theme?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he ended up doing time. I'm sure he was a hero in the cell block, Who doesn't love Chong?
They're treating him like the Godfather while he's in there.
I would say so, yes.
Yep, there goes Racing for Holland Miata. There it
There's
goes.
actually an hour and 20 minutes left to go in this race.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour endurance race. Yeah.
All right, but there's no damage. That's all turned off, correct?
No, there's damage.
Okay, so you can be damaged out.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see 27th place is our friend Anton Lovett, who went online, has a lot of negative things to say about the lack of courtesy by drivers who don't know of the existence of other drivers in virtual racing.
It's a tough thing. I mean, most people are racing on a monitor, so I mean, how well can you really see?
The problem that causes other cars to disappear in iRacing seems like a severe one. Like, it looks like I got a clear line to this corner. Turns out there's 8 other cars there. I mean, that happens in real life too, but you have less excuse.
Yeah. David Bryan in the STP car. There's the CTA car also.
Donnie Iris.
Donnie Iris was in there too, yeah.
We really need to get Donnie Iris to be the MC in one of our races. I was thinking him and Violent J together would be a good combination. I bet they have a lot in common. I mean, Pittsburgh and whatever god-awful Detroit suburb ICP comes from. Actually, where do the members of ICP come? It's got to be Detroit suburbs.
It is. I think it's Michigan. Yeah.
No, it's Michigan for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it like a Detroit suburb or like a Grand Rapids?
No way they could be from anywhere else. It's not.
No, I mean, they call out Michigan constantly. I mean, I suppose it might be like Leonard Skinner. They were actually from Florida, but everyone thinks they're from Alabama because of that real catchy song they did. They're from Florida. They're from Gainesville, where they all smoke the Gainesville green.
Excellent.
ICP is from Delray. It's a neighborhood in Detroit.
Okay, so it's actually Detroit proper.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a big rivalry 15 years ago in Michigan of M&M fans and ICP fans.
Really?
That was totally a thing, yeah.
I mean, I might have to weigh in and say I'd say Eminem's a somewhat better writer than Shaggy and Violent, but that's just subjective. Who can say? Actually, as soon as possible, Pizza is saying Oak Park, not Detroit.
Sure.
I mean, is there a theological difference between Oak Park and Detroit, though? Really?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not Fairlane, I bet ICP's not from Fairlane.
We should get some ECW wrestlers to be on the ICP team.
Is ECW their wrestling league? Because I know that's a thing.
Right, they
I think
do
theirs is
wrestling.
I think theirs is backyard wrestling. To be honest with you.
Yeah. We might need a shot of the Fago car.
Actually, to me, the pinnacle of Juggalo culture was that ad that ICP did for The Gathering a few years ago that starts out with a guy standing next to his Chrysler K car and getting hit by a meteor and then going to the afterlife where God shows him what will be at The Gathering, which of course he'll be there because The Gathering is heaven. That is one of the finest pieces of filmmaking I've ever seen. Actually, we should put some of that on here, just the opening sequence. He's on the phone to his girlfriend, and then he looks up, he sees this smoky object coming at him. He's standing next to his, I think it's a LeBaron, but it might be a Plymouth Caravelle. The next thing you know, a quarter-sized meteorite hits him in the head and sends him to the afterlife, where it turns out God's a juggalo.
So self-proclaimed
That's
knows
perfect.
nothing about pop culture. but can recite ICP commercials word for word.
Oh, Judge Phil, check this car out.
Yeah, I have a couple of little corners of knowledge of popular culture.
There you go, Judge Phil.
Recognize the.
How much video do you have
I
in the
think
house?
Judge Phil recognizes genitalia on this car.
Is that it? Oh, I'm not really seeing a lot. I mean, I'm intuiting genitalia, as I always do when I see anything. Because I think that's a Rorschach blot on the roof, which is genitalia.
Still missing the hood though.
There's some venous heinous stuff going on there. I'm actually quoting from the butthole surfers here, so it's literary,
Yeah.
reference here. Yeah. Who is that face, by the way?
Oh come on, Phil.
He's not a crook.
Is that actually Nixon?
Rod
Yeah.
Sterling.
Without the mouth, it's kind of hard to tell. Nixon does have a pretty mouth.
Either Nixon or Rod Sterling.
Could be Spiro, too.
That song ended in the perfect time.
Now, if I go ahead and do my iRacing car, it'll certainly be a Solstice, of course. Now,
I
thinking
will
Lean
paint
and
your
Brezhnev
iRacing car
would be-
for you, Judge Phil. You draw it on a
No,
napkin.
I'm reasonably skilled with Photoshop. I will do my own, and I think it'll be
Okay.
Leonid Brezhnev with enhanced eyebrow technology.
Ooh.
Yeah, and genitals.
That
I'm
could be
disappointed that
Mr.
you
Bean,
can't.
too. That's funny.
You can't have three-dimensional stuff coming off your iRacing livery, though, because it really would add a lot. If you could have, it would be more lemony if you could have like the Wonderman Consortium blimp, for example, on the roof of your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch
Yeah,
and
they have-
Camaro.
Yeah.
Bitch and Camaro.
Love that we can't hear any of the music that you're playing or anything, but we can hear the Howard Dean screams.
I
I'm not
made
hearing
sure.
any
I
music.
made sure of
That's
that.
for the best.
That's all right. I mean,
Awesome.
all we need is Howard Dean.
I
all
see no
you
need for
need.
anything else.
We need
Have the
a little
need
bit.
for Dean.
Shit's getting way too complicated for me.
That's right.
That was former President Barack Obama.
Yes. Oh, there was the
George Soros
the
paid me to play that.
Benetton. The Benetton Jetta has the Obama Writing Instruments decal on it.
Oh, that's right. The Mustang. It's a Mustang.
Oh, you're right.
The Maginot Lime. That is
Oh, imagine a lime.
Maginot Lime. Not
Lime, even
but
better.
lime, yeah, that's soggy.
Of course it is, yes, because I believe Soggy is technically the owner of all of the Peugeot 504s that Troy Frew had. Maybe Troy still owns them, but I believe they live at Chez Soggy.
That's right.
His neighbors must think he's great.
He lives in rural Pennsylvania. I don't know that his neighbors are close enough to have an opinion.
If they can see any of his cars, they're angry about them. Let's just assume. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, you could be in the Arctic Circle somewhere, and your neighbor could be 100 miles away. But when they flew their Cessna over and saw all those cars, they would get angry.
That's right. Obama Writing Instruments. There you go.
Is that car number like 7 digits? Oh, I see. That's not the car number. That's okay. Never mind. We would not actually allow that on a real car in a Lemons race. The theme that had a long, complicated number on the side because it would confuse the corner workers. Like I don't know what car number it is, but there's a lot of numbers.
I cannot count higher than 7. So yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of car number confusion. I have to say, like when I first started doing the judging business in Lemons, it never occurred to me that teams would have any difficulty at all putting numbers on their cars. It turns out, for a fairly good percentage of teams, it's almost impossible to do car numbers. We keep meaning to do a video about how to make a car number on your car. It's sort of one of those things like, or it could be. We've had teams that failed car number on the tech inspection on Friday, and we're still working on it on Sunday. And this is with the help of a bunch of their pit neighbors. And it's not because they're illiterate. I mean, that might have been a contributing factor, but it's like you're doing this shape, right? You can probably figure it out. It's a meaningful shape that we want on your car. But they just couldn't make it something that registered as a number, as a numeral of any sort. So I was thinking we should allow shapes as instead of car numbers, like the triangle,
Wingdings.
the circle.
It's your boy,
Wingdings
Judge Phil.
too.
It's your boy.
Definitely go with wingdings. And the next time someone asks, what do you mean I can't have 6-inch tall black numbers on my black paint job car? Just throat punch them and
It's, a very common thing is when the team registers with a certain number on the Lemons registration website, but they really wanted a different number, so they just use that. And then we got two cars with the same number, and it takes an amazingly long time and way too much negotiation to sort this out. It's like, and I'm seeing 3 number 4s out there. I don't know why. And then we got to bring them all in. We got to figure out. And then you talk to them. They're like, yeah, well, there was the website that we had this one number, but we just figured the reason it wasn't giving us the number we wanted. It's a pull down list where the numbers that other teams have already taken are not available, but they don't really grasp that. So like, we really like this number and we already have it on the car, so we will be using it. And this happens a lot. And then there's some teams stole our number problem where, if somebody registers before you do and they take the number you want, it's their number. I mean, you can negotiate with them and trade or something like that. But it's not like you get that number permanently. That's why what you want to have is a real long, complicated 3-digit number that's hard to make on a stencil because no one will ever want it. And a number that doesn't mean anything. So 69, everybody thinks that's hilarious. You're never going to get that unless you register early. But if you want 546, you've probably got that one because who wants that? Just a little tip out there. But a lot of teams, like I said, I think it'd be a lot better, or maybe not even just geometric shapes, but like animals. This is the cat. Oh no, because you'd have teams that made a cat that looked like a dog and so on. So maybe that might not be a good idea.
so you need to do the Garanimal style car numbering where you just choose it for them.
I still think that we should allow anything, numbers, letters, shapes, animal faces. You just don't. You can't have the same one as somebody else. So you could be the cat. You could be the square. You can be 15. You can be the word poop. Everyone would want to be poop.
That's going to show up with. Pretty sure we.
Steph's going to show up with either poop or dong. Yes.
There it is.
Or pooper dong.
Poopy dong.
I think that's a
There's
Belgian.
one, Phil.
That's a Belgian dog.
What?
Riding along with the Fail Inc. Florida Man with the Hatchet Man on their Solstice, which is really the perfect match made.
Whoop whoop with the dino label. Whoop whoop. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there we go.
that's a great
Oh yeah.
word. Yep. It's was the back the Gathering of the Juggalos.
There's actually a soft drink that's even kind of more retrograde than Faygo, which we learned about when we were raised in South Carolina for the first time. It's called Cheerwine. I'm sure you Southerners know what that is.
That's amazing. Don't despair.
Cheerwine, I mean, yes, if you took artificial cherry flavoring number 641 and then added some protactinium and then just maybe some of the juice from the Swamp Full of Poisonous Snakes at CMP. It's not even really carbonated.
Yes, it is.
It's theoretically carbonated, but they saved a few zlotys by not carbonating it very much.
About new grape. How do you feel about new grape?
I've never even heard of that. Is that like a futuristic grape from the Mars base?
Better than Welch's, that's for damn sure.
Oh, well, I'll agree with you there. Not really a fan of anybody's grape soda, but I'd have to say, I bet that Faygo Cherry is better than Cheerwine. We could have a taste test at the next race.
No,
What was really disappointing?
Still no. Always no.
When I lived in Georgia for about a year, my coworkers would talk lovingly about being a kid and washing down some moon pies with RC soda, RC Cola. And then I was like, oh, I gotta try this. This sounds pretty good. And it's like RC Cola's fine, but moon pies, man, you have to wash them down with something because it's like pouring cat litter down your throat. That stuff's dry as hell. It's not really
My father was that guy. My father was the moon pie.
I mean, I bet they have a shelf life that would be pretty good in your bomb shelter, but they're not
quite as good as Twinkie, but
yeah. Okay, so Steph is talking about butt chugging cheer wine. You know, when the butt chugging moral panic was in full swing, I'm kind of shocked we never had a butt chugging Lemons theme. Because even remember back in the early days of Lemons when there was the "Don't Tase Me, Bro" thing, we had at least 2 "Don't Tase Me, Bro" themes. So why didn't we get a butt chugging theme? I mean, what was the peak year for butt chugging moral panic? It was before eating Tide Pods. So I'm going to say it's like maybe 2013, and we never had a butt chugging theme.
Could you imagine the timeline?
Butt chugging over and over
if
again.
we went through and like put all that stuff in chronological order, the Tide Pods, the "Don't Tase Me, Bro," the butt chug.
Oh yeah, I mean, actually,
man.
the one
with years, we should make a flow chart.
The one that really stuck with everybody for the longest was like the Charlie Sheen thing. I mean, when he was
The
really
Tiger's
topical,
Blood thing? Yeah.
Yeah, when he was really topical, we must have had 15 themes, like white powder on the face. We had some really good ones.
No.
And then Team Sheen stuck with it. They still have it. But, I mean, for a time, I think that was 2011. Yeah, I think it was around the time of the Fukushima meltdown because we also had a bunch of kind of inappropriately timed Fukushima meltdown themes. So you'd have a race where like half the teams would be either Charlie Sheen covered with cocaine and whatever it was winning, duh, and then the other half would be people with Fukushima hazard cleanup suits,
4-eyed tuna on their hood,
whatever it took.
We also had that was a penalty, wasn't it? The Chris Christie penalty with the bridge that you had to shut down.
There's actually New Jersey Motorsports Park. There is a bridge, and it's conveniently located to where we have the penalty box, so it's very easy to do Chris Christie penalties. In fact, I still have a framed 8x10 photograph of Chris Christie that a team gave me as a bribe there. That's in my garage. It's right next to the one of Cyrus Vance getting a medal from Jimmy Carter that some other team gave me. Remember Cyrus Vance? Why don't we have a Cyrus Vance theme?
Nobody knows who Cyrus Vance is.
That's why you want to have it as a theme. Come on now. I mean, nobody knew who Enver Hoxha was, and yet some team, without my input, came up with an Enver Hoxha theme. All on their own.
But, all right.
I had nothing to do with that. I just want all the Albanian mobsters out there to know, like, I'm going to give you the names and addresses of everybody on that team. You go ahead and go after them, because I had nothing to do with it. Oh. Besides, Violent J is the one running this event.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are there Slobodan themes? Or there?
We had the Balkan Express theme where one of the guys on the team actually comes from one of the former Yugoslavian territories, and they actually bribed me with very late in the Yugoslavian nation's lifetime 27-digit currency, so it was like 400 trillion, whatever their unit of currency, lira maybe, and that was pretty good. It was like cigarettes and money with a lot of zeros on it. But yeah, we haven't really, I guess maybe the scars have not really fully healed up on the Yugoslavian experiment.
Yeah, I can see why.
Too soon. I mean, they still all hate each other there, so.
And then there was silence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to think of something funny to say about,
Really not.
Sarajevo 1992, but it's not coming to me.
Not.
Exactly.
Yep.
They had a Winter Olympics in Sarajevo in 1980. That's where the American hockey team had its big triumph.
Was it?
Was it Sarajevo? No, it was Moscow. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. What was the Olympics in Sapporo? Because the Plymouth Sapporo was not the sponsor there.
Which is a great tragedy.
I just saw a Plymouth Sapporo in the junkyard that actually had the padded Landau roof and opera lights.
Whoa.
On a Mitsubishi. Like Mitsubishi and opera lights really go together.
So the Sapporo was the same thing as the Challenger.
Correct.
It was all a Mitsubishi of some sort.
It was a Galant. It was the Japanese market Galant. So they decided, I think due to long association with Chrysler, because they'd been selling Mitsubishi's badges, Dodges, and Plymouths since 1971, Mitsubishi picked up a bit of the Chrysler virus and decided they needed to have opera lights and fake stitching molded in plastic and a bunch of other things that you might have found on the Chrysler New Yorker, and later on, one of the finest motor vehicles ever made, the Dodge Dynasty, in which I'd like to put in a little plug for that. Any of you teams that want to race a Dynasty, we're all for it. We would love you if you race a Dynasty. I mean, even more than racing the LeBaron.
Hey, speaking of Dodge racers, this is Seth Goslowski with the UPPR, which is a partnership of Pentastar racers who have raced with Duster, the front-wheel drive ones from the 90s.
Yeah, those are the ones they kept asking me, like, we would like to put a member of the 6G V6 family with ever more horsepower into our car because it's so terrible. And every time I would just say, yeah, sure. And they finally came in, I think it was second overall in Brainerd, with, I think it was like a 2017, what is the SUV? The Outlander. Like, it was a pretty recent Outlander V6. They're still making, it was like a 6G77 or something like that. Like, that's fine. There's your loophole right there. Get a horrible Mitsubishi Chrysler product from the 80s and put a 3-year-old Outlander motor in, and we'll let you do it. And you'll come in second, and you'll win IOE for it.
Yeah.
I felt bad about that, though, just because in any other normal race, I mean, geez, the Brown Rubber Soul 626, the rear-wheel drive 626, would have won every trophy we had. That was actually the worst dilemma when it came to awarding the IOE I've ever had in all of my years as a Lemons judge, because that was really heart-wrenching. But I have to say, the UPPR guys, I mean, well, they've just been historically so miserable for so long that once they put the 500 horsepower 6G 419 in their car and managed to get second place with it, I figured that's IOE.
Well, if you were just watching Seth Goslowski go around the track there and spin, when their Duster actually ran right, they drove it like total craps. So it was kind of complicating things there.
Didn't have that many cars on the track, so there wasn't that much for them to hit. And
shout out to Derek for having 62 incidents, by the way, too. Steinkamp, their team.
That sounds very Derek-like.
What, 62 incidents in less than an hour? What?
Well, that's more than one a minute.
Yep, sounds right. So Derek was part of what we call what they call themselves the Wonderment Consortium, who have maybe the worst / best taste in automobiles of all time.
Our advice a lot, which is, it's a great idea, but it's also a really bad idea.
Yeah, so they've raced a Volkswagen Quantum Synchro wagon.
That actually used to be Mike Austin's car. I mean, they
bought it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also raced a Hyundai Scoop.
Starion.
Chrysler Conquest.
Oh, right. Sorry, it was a Conquest, so it's so much better than a Starion.
Isuzu Impulse RS.
One of like 500 made. Man, the internet, and by that I mean 8 people, went crazy over that. That's
right. And a Saab 900 Turbo.
Well, that fell apart because it turned out it was made entirely of rust.
Yep.
They had the suspension collapse after getting hit during an ill-advised pass by the Super Bird Hyundai Sonata, and then fine, we'll just weld our suspension back together. They couldn't find any metal to weld anything to. I was looking at this, and it was just like, like when you find a soup can that got buried in your muddy backyard for 10 years, and it's just sort of a moraine of more holes than metal. That's what you get when you have a Midwestern Saab 900.
Good off there from the Jetta. Didn't clobber the wall though. So. Arthur Cady in the TDI. I think I got that right.
The Jettas are diesels, aren't they? Are they in iRacing?
Yeah, that's right. ACR Speed asking how well Saabs do in lemons. Not very.
No, I mean they do better than Audis.
That's not really saying anything though, because
what's saying something?
Yeah. All right.
I would say, we've had a Saab 900 win a race.
It's been
a couple of races,
but yeah,
they're not slow. I mean, the Saab 900 Turbo is actually a pretty quick car, and the Saab teams seem to enjoy their weekends at the track mostly. None of them have ever murdered each other that I know of.
The old Saab 96s we've gotten have all been spectacular.
Oh yeah, those are great. There's the one with the Geo Metro engine. They really upgraded to a more powerful 3-cylinder. I mean, I would really like to see, actually, have we ever had a Saab 9, like one of the GM era, like a 9.5, 9.3? I think we've had a couple 9.3. Oh, we've definitely had 9.3s.
Chris Egan, Lemons racer, long time, who had a Dodge Daytona before, has a 9.3 wagon now.
That's right. And then there's the 9.7, which is the Trailblazer. That's 9.7, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Nate Schlavine, Lemons racer, iRacing organizer, tows with a 9.7X, which is whatever one the Trailblazer SS is.
Right. Oh, by the way, so as soon as possible, would like to know what car using Lemons has brought out the most aggressive jog. Oh, hands down, Cadillac Alante. Those guys, they were enraged that for some reason, the United Nations didn't show up with black helicopters and abduct every single person who was a member of a team that dared race a Alante and a race with the word Lemons in it and just prevent them from doing it.
Howard Dean.
And yet, you can get an Alante for $100.
It's got Howard Dean moving to the hairpin there by Lee Berry on one of the tarp cars.
Have we renamed another corner for this race, by the way?
Yeah, we have turn 1, which is brought to you by Sandals Resort Birmingham.
Okay.
So if you sign up today, there's a special limited time offer for Mustang versus Camaro trash talking lessons, which include a free Pissing Calvin decal. So check that out at Sandals Resort Birmingham.
I assume, yes, the resort is not anywhere near the coast. It's inland, like in Birmingham. Yes, okay. So it's next to the landfill.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's landfill adjacent, it has access. So
Kind of reminds me of I had a friend from high school that went to school in Riverside, California, which it's kind of a Merle Haggard-y kind of a place. And she was right next door to an aluminum can recycling plant. And so she and her roommates would pretend that the sound of oceans of aluminum cans going on conveyor belts was the sound of the ocean. Yeah, so I picture the Birmingham Sandals being a lot like that.
Yep. It is, but you also have access to your uncle's IROC Z, which is almost done.
It's true. Everybody in Birmingham has an uncle with an IROC Z that's almost done.
That's right.
Kind of reminds me, I've got being in lockdown and all that, I have neighbors that are working from home and who every 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they go in their backyard. And I live in the city where everyone's pretty close together. They go in their backyard and they put on a Pandora channel for music inspired by a single Jimmy Buffett song, Margaritaville. Turns out there's a whole genre of songs about being a loser, drunk, and watching your life pissing away at a resort somewhere in the third world. There's thousands of these songs. I've heard them all now, and it's like, yeah, here I took my Carnival cruise to Haiti, and I'm getting served a zombie in a cocoa shell, and my life's just gone to shit. Guitar solo. It turns out, so I'm reminded of that with the Birmingham Sandals. They're going to sue us, aren't they? Sandals is hell suing us right now.
Yeah, they're working on the paper.
Because this record's permanent, isn't it? This is Exhibit A. In fact, we'll be sitting in court listening to the recording of this conversation. It was funny at the time. Sorry, everybody.
That's right.
I'm just going to say that just as I did not think of the Enver Hoxha theme, actually was ordered by a Sandals competitor to say these things.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
This is Glenn Mann, by the way, who was added to the league specifically so he could race with his brother. So 2 hours into being in the iRacing league, spinning and getting clobbered by the Sprite-themed Benetton, whatchamacallit, whatever. And the Pink Panther is now dead.
I just watched the Mustang hood buckle really accurately and then straighten itself out. Like he just went to Earl
F's in chat for the Pink Panther.
F's in chat for the Pink Panther. That's right. That's 3. So we
go
3.
Pink Panther.
There you go. As soon as possible, Pizza pointing out hashtag boomer music for all of your neighbors.
Well, my neighbors aren't even boomers. They're like in their early 30s. It's a theme, this whole idea that, so Margaritaville is actually a really depressing song. It's about, you've wasted your life, you cut your foot open on a pop top, and now you're going to try to dull the pain of your pointless existence with an icy tequila-based drink. It's just all really depressing, you know what I mean? And then, but for some reason, it became a celebratory song of going on vacation. I don't know how. It's sort of like Born in the USA. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of Born in the USA, the Springsteen song, as I recall, it's all about coming back from Nam, going into like an alcohol-induced sort of haze for 10 years, and then getting fired from your job at the steel mill and killing your whole family and eating them, right? But people think it's this patriotic anthem somehow. So Margaritaville's the same sort of thing. I believe Margaritaville, doesn't it end with him hanging himself in his cabana, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so there's the whole genre of songs about, okay, I'm in Cote d'Ivoire, at the resort there, and I'm drinking whatever their local drink is, and I'm kind of celebrating it, and life is not worth living. I hate every minute of it. I just am looking forward to death. And so what is it about those songs? It's not just boomers, it's everybody. Well, a certain demographic, but I'm just saying, I'm disturbed by all of this. I'm just wondering, how do these really super depressing songs become happy anthems? And that's why I think the Dead Kennedy song, Forward to Death, should be everybody's
the Lemons iRacing League is brought to you by Existential Dread, because, oh God, this isn't real. Is any of this real?
Do we have an Existential Dread corner? That would be a good one. I'm breaking hard for Existential Dread.
All of them. They're
Turned
all
17. And Barber, that's turned 17. It really is.
Actually, Steph mentions that I'm secretly the main character of Torment Incorporated. In fact, when I wrote that book, the editor that was supposed to be part of editing that got fired in a cocaine-fueled meltdown with his bosses in London that I had no idea had happened. So some of the characters have names that change throughout the course of the book, because I wrote the thing in like a couple of sittings very quickly for money. So literary critics reading the book later will wonder, like, why does this character have 3 different names? It's like, well, the editor said he would fix that stuff, but since he got fired 3 days after I got the money, I had no idea. So I'm just saying, future generations studying this fine work of literature that I wrote will be a little puzzled by the name changes.
Should point out that Judge Phil is talking about his work of erotic fiction that he wrote some years ago.
Well, I got laid off from my .com job after the .com bubble popped. So I was a tech writer working in San Francisco in Multimedia Gulch, and then we hung on for a couple extra years after the bubble popped, and then I got laid off. And then I had a friend of mine from high school who had moved to London and married a guy who was an editor at Virgin Books, which, the airline and the record company and all that. And they had an erotic fiction wing. I'm going to condense this down to like 30 seconds, that did sadomasochistic fiction for middle-aged English women to self-pleasure to enjoy onanistic enjoyment, So I had never even read a porn novel in my life. I mean, my tastes are even way less vanilla than that. But he gave me the basic shtick. It's like, okay, in England, everybody wants class-based abusive power. That's what gets them off. It's like, I can do that. So I said it all in the .com era, because that's what I knew, and in California, because they wanted something that wasn't set in a Victorian boarding school, which is where all their other books are set. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Like, all their other writers were English perverts living in Thailand and writing books about Victorian boarding schools. Time for your caning, oh God. So fortunately, I'd never read any of those, so I wasn't ruined by exposure to them. So he said, my editor, the man who set me up with this, was saying, yeah, don't worry about the porn scenes. Here's the basic gist. Write them up, and then I'll fill in the blanks and make it actual porn that people could pleasure themselves to. It's like, oh, no problem. Okay, good, because I like my writing to get the job done. So I wrote this thing, and I concentrated more on, the station wagon burnout contest, behind the Orange County Metal Club and all that, and then kind of did these disturbing sex scenes in dumpsters full of rotting bok choy, and I figured, the porn experts will fix that. Well, then this dude got in a dispute with his boss, and apparently smashed his computer on her desk and stormed out in a cocaine-fueled rage. Do a lot of coke in the publishing industry in London, I learned. So I get this phone call from the editor of the Doctor Who books, which Virgin Books also does, saying, yeah, I'm the only editor in the building right now, so we've got about 2 hours before your book goes to press. This is like a year later after I'd written the thing, gotten my money. And if you're a professional writer, once you've got your money, like, who cares? You know, I don't know what they're going to do with it. I hadn't even thought about it. And she's like, yeah, we need to fix some of the more egregious problems, like characters whose names changes and all that. I said, well, what about the sex scenes that are not going to actually be stimulating for anybody? She's like, we don't have time for that, and I know nothing about writing sex scenes because I'm a science fiction editor. I was like, okay, then, can we make it on the Mars base? But the most important thing about this novel that everyone should know is that because a real porn editor never had a chance to touch it, there are 2 different Richard Nixon sex robots in it, completely unrelated to each other. It's just one of those rules of literature. If you have one Richard Nixon sex robot, you have to have 2. It's sort of like the Aristotelian plot diagram that they make you learn when you're learning how to write fiction. So it's kind of like, it was one of those rules that I did adhere to, but a real pornography editor might have removed one of them.
Didn't Junior and Jeff Gordon have that exact same conversation last week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Darling?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. This is exactly like NASCAR.
And some people reading Torment Incorporated, which is the name of this novel, I said a lot of it in a pizza restaurant in Orange County that some might say, bad people might say, was based on a pizza restaurant I actually delivered for when I was in college. Not any connection whatsoever. The one I worked for was called Sergeant Pepperoni's, and the one in the book is called Colonel Sausage. And actually, Three Pedal Mafia did a Colonel Sausage pizza theme, which I was really happy about. They actually had characters from Torment Incorporated. Let's just say, when you're a technical writer who goes on to write a porn novel for money, and then years later, some race team themes their car after the characters in this novel you'd kind of forgotten about, isn't that what living's really all about if you're going to be an artist?
You've left
Yeah,
us all
just
yeah.
like
And if, by the way, folks, all I need is another 6,000 sales of the Kindle edition of Torment Incorporated, and I'll get more money from Virgin Books. Apparently, the second round of royalties has never happened in their history. So if y'all keep buying those copies of Torment Incorporated, the Kindle version, not the hard copies, those are only available secondhand. Eventually, I'll get some money, although it'll probably be easier to just send me money.
Although we should point out that Secondhand Smut Novels is a great team name and theme somebody. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the name of my next band.
Yep.
That is great.
And this
I
is
just
also
wanted to get some YouTube chat.
reminder.
All I'm seeing is the word pounded and the word butt. So I think people are, oh yeah, you're right, never mind. Well, Steph thinks the Mitsubishi Lancer, not the Evo, the regular Lancer, is a fine automobile. I'm just going to leave it at that. Here she comes. She's going to come back with a spirited defense of the Mitsubishi Lancer. So actually, it reminds me of a Lancer story. So back when one of the early New Jersey races, I was riding in a Lancer rental car with Jay Lamb, and it was so terrible, this car, that he actually called the head of Mitsubishi PR, he's good friends with, I'm not going to name names because he went on to a more respectable career, called him up to rake him over the coals over his terrible car, and the dude's just like, I know, Jay, I feel ashamed. You know, Jay's like saying, when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror in the bathroom, you're going to shave, you should see your face in the mirror and say, this is a man who allowed the Mitsubishi Lancer to be sold in this country. You know, how can you leave the house? The guy's like, I know, Jay, you're right. It's a terrible car. I feel bad. So anyway, actually, it might have been the Galan now that I think about it. Never mind.
Well, I mean, the hairs you're splitting there are very fine and short and curly. So
Nothing really comes close to the shame I felt when, I learned that Phil Floriday, who is a late Romans racer that I liked very much, was in charge of PR for the Dodge Journey, because I actually saw the angriest I ever saw Nick Pond get at a race was when we tried to rent a car and all they had left was Dodge Journey because it's the worst car you could rent at the time. And then we were all going on record saying all these terrible things about the Journey, and it turns out one of our favorite Lemons racers was the man responsible for trying to give the Journey a good image. I'm making his job a lot harder. I didn't stop doing it, but I felt bad. And then he died, and then I felt even worse. so long
Better
silent.
job in between there, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. He also realized that the Journey could have been a better motor vehicle, but he was doing his best with it. You know, there was some feature on the Journey, like there were some accessories that came as standard equipment on the Journey that, like, if you got a Chevy HHR, would have cost you $19 more. So they had that going for them. But I believe, wasn't the Journey the car that Marchionne called out when the Fiat Chrysler merger happened being unfit for human consumption? Or was it? No, I think it was the Sebring.
I think he was talking about everything. Might have been the
No,
200.
some of them he thought weren't too bad. The trucks he thought were okay.
Definitely
Yeah.
the Avenger /200, I think.
That sounds.
Well, once again, Avenger RT, Lemons Class C loophole. You can get, I think the newest Avenger RT is 2016.
300 horsepower, man.
Yeah, the Pentastar, the motor's okay. It's just the rest of it. It's everything that the motor is wrapped in.
Okay, look, you don't get a Class C loophole if it's a good car, but you can get a Class C loophole if it's a flawed car with a lot of power, and that's exactly what the Avenger RT is. So if you find, I think the last year for the Avenger RT was 2016. Well, what was the last year for the Avenger at all? I mean, it was not that long ago.
It was 16 or something.
Yeah,
Should point out that Judge Phil's, the cover of Judge Phil's
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
novel is on the screen if you are looking for it.
And by the way, I'd like to add that when I wrote this book, they said, okay, we don't want to have it be the usual thing, which is either, you know, a Berlin nightclub in 1981 or a Victorian boarding school. So, hey, no problem, I got that covered. And then they went ahead and got this cover art. It was like they actually have a studio at Virgin. Actually, the name is called Nexus. They have a studio where they have models who just go out and shoot the covers for their novels. But I'm going to say, this was the Nexus label's best-selling book for 2005. So I was at the top of the chart. And they flew me out to London for the next one. We're gonna have meetings and all that. It never happened because they didn't want it. They wanted to pay me even less, and I had a full-time job.
Patrick McNeely here asking the real question, which is there an audio book for Torment?
Oh, God.
Incorporated?
Who would be the good voice for that? Who would we have for that?
Come on now.
I don't know if it'd be me. I mean, I'd like to get like a D-list celebrity to do it.
If we could get Morgan Freeman to read
He's
Torment.
a D-list, but maybe yeah. Actually, given that everyone's stuck in their house and bored, I mean, maybe he could do it. He could probably try to talk somebody into it.
How about Don LaFontaine?
Actually, I have a friend who's an easy listening DJ who's got the sexiest voice ever. Did you get heard of it?
How about Donnie Iris? Could we get
Oh shit, that's it.
Incorporated?
I bet Donnie Iris could be recruited to drive on the Donnie Iris team. I mean, he's Pittsburghian. I bet Dave Morrow and Donnie Iris drink together.
As I understand it, Randy Bish is actively trying to get Donnie Iris to race with him.
Okay. I mean, I came really close to getting Gibby Haynes to judge at a Lemons race in Texas, and by really close, I mean I had King Coffee, the Butthole Servers drummer, saying, "Yeah, I'll talk to him," because he's the car guy in the band, and that never happened. But Donnie Iris, I mean, that'd be a coup, getting him to be a judge and also getting him to read my book.
Does Lemons go to pit race?
We do.
That'd be the
If we
one.
do it, we have races at all, yeah.
That'd be the one.
I mean, I could try to do it. I suppose. Yeah, I'd really like to have, in addition to the Donnie Iris theme, I always mix them up, is the Billy Squier theme. I realize he actually, where is Billy Squier from? We should look that up.
It's from some other Rust Belt team, if I remember.
It's got to be a place like Pittsburgh, right? Hang on, I'm going to look this up right now. I mean, a place that spiritually is not too far off from Pittsburgh. Here we go. Billy Squier, Wellesley, Massachusetts. It's not what I expected. Grew up in, so from rural, New England, that's about right. I mean, there's rust there. There's a lot of rust there. And there's despair.
Patrick McNeely's doubling down with something that I can't even begin explaining, but there's money in it if you want to make a version of the audiobook film.
Really? Is it at least several dollars?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I also have to say that. So
not you.
while I do own the film rights for Torment Incorporated, because that was something I stipulated in the contract, I don't think I own the audiobook rights. So it's possible that, if I become a famous serial killer, that Nexus might want to cash in on that by doing audiobook versions. So if I did one myself, they might come after me. And they sent me a quarterly royalty statement. I mean, ever since 2005, I get this like a fat envelope from London. It's dear author. It makes me feel very esteemed, and I don't mean like a Suzuki esteem. I mean like actually esteemed. So I feel like their lawyers, they probably have some pretty scary English lawyers that would come after me.
Yeah. English law is not the same.
I mean, libel is one of those things. I mean, I would definitely not be libeling Sergeant Pepperoni's Pizza the way I have here if I were based in London.
Oh man, that's a good slide right there. Look at that.
That's what I was watching all weekend long. That's a
Okay.
10 grip right there.
Oh, yeah.
This just turned into Formula D.
No, you should have cut it sooner, because otherwise it looked amazing for moments there.
The Solstice missed the second clipping point, but the first one was right on, man.
Oh, now he's going to get hit several times. No, he avoided that. I don't think that was through any effort of his own, but I bet Anton is just like pounding his steering wheel. I'm trying to think about this. I don't think Anton even uses profanity in front of other people. He's really polite. He's actually one of those very polite, kind-hearted men who doesn't even want to burn people's eardrums out with, a big blast of nasty 4-letter words.
Darn it all.
He's not. He's just one of those guys that manages to not, abuse others' sensibilities.
Donnie Iris on pit lane there.
On the other hand, Donnie Iris doesn't hold back when he needs to tell somebody off with some 4-letter words.
That's right.
I feel pretty sure.
When he goes down to pants in that and gets hounded by the Inzers.
Are you using some Pittsburghian slang there? Because I got to admit, I'm not really up on my Pittsburgh slang.
Pants in that is a famous radio sketch.
Is it? Okay.
Fake advertisements on the rebellious rock radio station there.
Now, is there like a Victory Auto Wrecking style commercial that's sort of the signature, TV ad of Pittsburgh from back in the day? Like the Victory Auto Wrecking. I mean, because nothing will ever come close to the Victory Auto Wrecking. Door falls off the '74 Caprice. Was it a Caprice? I think it was GM. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. That ad is one of the greatest pieces.
Well, that is on the roof of car number 6. I don't know if you caught that earlier on. I don't know if we quite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that have the guy's 6-inch wide leather wristwatch band? Because that's pretty excellent.
It's just the roof of. It's just the shot of the dude standing there with the.
Oh, okay. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to tell from this perspective, but
so I lived down the street from Victory Auto Wreckers for a year.
I really need to go there. I mean, it seems. I'm sure that. Actually, I love Upper Midwest Junkyard just because they've got so much like 5-year-old Detroit stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else.
I mean, it's full of Dodge Chargers at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dodge Chargers have been in every junkyard in the country for quite a while. Magnums.
Right, Magnums, and yeah.
What I like best about this ad too is the way the guy just shakes his fists at the sky like the gods have betrayed him. But then here comes Victory Auto Wrecking with, what is it, like $28 or something like that? Pretty good in 1986, for his car.
For the most part, anybody I know, because like their whole deal was like, we'll pay you cash on the spot if your car is worth it. Like in the fine print at the bottom.
Yeah, it's cash in quotes.
Anybody I've ever known who's called them, like they're just like, okay, we'll just take your car now and that'll be fine. And
yeah,
it is, because your car's hella busted.
Well, you want your car to go away by that point.
Yes. Yeah. So my brother-in-law had his Honda Civic towed off of Route 53, just north of Victory Auto Wreckers, for free, and he was ecstatic. So
car. I mean, you have to pay to get rid of a car sometimes.
Some of the iRacers were asking about your book, so I threw a link into the Discord, and Matt Sitko points out your book is number 261,360 in erotica on Amazon right now. So
it's in the standings.
It's almost
So
to the
you're
top 100.
I remember when it first came out, it was like in the top 10,000 of all books for a brief period, but that was Amazon 2005. So no, I mean I'm pretty important as a result, I gotta say. But it's good to know that I'm still in the charts.
I do have a copy somewhere around here.
Oh yeah, people bribe me with copies of my own book, which seems a little puzzling, but I've got several copies.
It's like Eric Kewen got Mustanged there also. Headed into the museum turn.
But I gotta say, there's a lot of car stuff in Torment Incorporated. I mean, there's the first Robot Nixon, which is a life-size Robot Nixon, is operated by the vacuum generated by a mid-engine Ford Econoline, one of the 60 through 66 ones.
There's part of Nixon's face there.
Yeah.
So press F in the chat for Richard Nixon. That's 4 tonight.
There we go. So there's also, I believe, the Plymouth Prowler makes an appearance in Torment Incorporated. What were the years for the Plymouth Prowler, by the way?
Around 2000. It was like 98 to...
Yeah, that was about right.
Okay.
I mean, when's the last time anybody saw a Prowler on the street? I'm not saying like at a cruise or a show or whatever, like on the street. Like somebody took the Prowler down to the liquor store.
About 2 weeks ago.
You saw one?
A yellow one. Yeah.
My neighborhood has one of those 02 to 05 Thunderbirds in the aqua blue color that was so big with those. I mean, that exists, but the Prowler, I have not seen one on the street for many years.
Guy that drives a yellow one around here quite often, and there's another guy that has a purple one that comes out about twice a year.
I mean, it's almost as sporty as the PT Cruiser, like the PT Cruiser Route 66 edition.
Whoa, there's a Route 66 edition?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Baby.
Yeah, with the
turbo,
famous iconic. I think you could get it with a turbo, but you had to pay extra for that. And actually, of the cars from
does it come with the little kid that you have to lean against, the crying kid that you lean against the fender?
You got to pay extra for the timeout kids, and I got to say, those things give me nightmares. When I was working for Year One, they would send me to car shows to take pictures of correct restored muscle cars for their catalogs, and I kind of had to stop going because of all the horrible timeout kids. Because it's like kids about to be horribly punished, face first up against a car. It's kind of horrifying. It's like, why would you have this negative, kid about to be punished for some kid offense that the kid doesn't understand, as a symbol of how good your car is.
The tie-in to the car was what I never got. Like,
and the kids don't have faces, so none of that part of those dolls is because you don't see the faces because they're up against the car. They don't bother to put faces on them. So when they show up to start setting up their car at the show, they stack the timeout kids face up like cardwood, and they have no faces. So it's like kind of like the burn pit behind the concentration camp in the former Yugoslavia, but with no faces. So even worse. It's like the Toyota Echo of stuffed animals.
So like me bringing up Slobodan earlier on in this broadcast was nothing compared to what just happened.
Yeah,
and I feel kind of better about it.
Thomas. It was our season 1 champion in the Waterboy car there.
Oh my god.
So Steph Schrader mentions that so many automotive journalists are terrible people. Well, some of them are. Some of them want special favors at Lemons races. We frown on that. But I know some journalists that I like quite a bit. We all have the exceptions that prove the rule. Actually, I know a few PR people, like the higher ranking PR people at some of the car companies, that are actually really great human beings. So surprisingly, turns out here and there, the system is not able to expunge all of the good people from every level the way they would like to. Someone's selling it for $200. Someone's selling Torment Incorporated for $208.78. Man, I should
get on that train, man.
I know. Well, I've got 3 copies. I'm looking at them right here. I had no copies for a while. So, by the way, if you go to my website, MirrorlyMartin.com, I've got a depornified version as a downloadable PDF that's safe for work, safe for everything. I took out all the... Because I gotta say, if you're going to read the book, the Stupp scenes, they're just not... They're not going to help you get off. I mean, I had a few friends who are serious aficionados of real erotic fiction. I mean, I just don't know the genre that much, so I'm not going to be very good at it. And they were saying, there's no way that anybody could ever masturbate successfully by reading this book. It's just not going to happen. So, well, okay, I failed in my primary duty as a writer. But then when I look at it, I did not fail because it was the best-selling book for that label. Sure, they were disappointed when they got home, but the publisher got their money and I got my money. So by the standards of publishing, it was a success for everybody that mattered.
Just want to give
But I feel a little guilty that people weren't actually able to masturbate
a
successfully.
shout out to the Tsuni Miku car on screen during that little rant.
Yeah.
Very poorly done.
Well, I'm just here for the rants.
Oh, should I be distancing myself from the broadcast at this point in time, or is it cool to
Ruin your career? You know, it's too late for that. You're associated with this group.
I thought, who are our class leaders? That might be. We're in the last half hour. That might be worth knowing.
So we've got Max Lupfer in the 48 leading Class A.
There you go.
I believe it is Peter Monin in the Damn It Doug Racing Machine leading Class. The Howard Dean leading it. And then we have Andrew Banah, who is just literally changed to David Bryan. So they just did a driver's change. So that's your 3 leaders. Got the 48 leading Class A, the 255 leaving the pits here, leading the way there, and David Bryan in Class C.
There we go. Look, we did a race thing. Can we get a applaud for us at your home, please? Thank you.
Please
Go
applaud.
to the end of the event and not talk about the race at all.
Pretty much. Yep.
Amanda Tully, diehard, still out there.
That's right. She's looks like on the end of 2 stints. She raced without glasses or contacts in at her last race and died at Road Atlanta, pretty much.
Pretty sure she still has a little bit of a buzz from Tuesday.
Yes, also.
Yeah.
4th place overall, though. They're doing pretty well.
Yep. Oh, yeah. There's a pass for position right there.
And now into 3rd, yeah. As you pointed. Or 2nd?
Oh, no, they were a lap ahead, I think. But the 4 is in the pits also, though. The High Life machine.
Dang.
You know, maybe I should dig up I could find some photographs of the Torment Incorporated theme that Three Pedal Mafia did if y'all want to put them up. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right, let me see what I can find.
Yeah.
I know it was a Barber race, so I'm gonna go through my pictures. I'm gonna
It's perfect. Yeah.
When they
yeah.
Yep.
Definitely bring that car to the Bible Belt. That's exactly where you want that car.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Check up there.
Mustang's getting ready to do Mustang things to a Volkswagen.
Ooh.
Very busy
spot.
there.
Tight spot. Way to drive it in deep, Jetta. Proud of you.
I'm actually impressed with it. That was actual racecraft.
Yep.
It's weird when that happens.
Actual racecraft being deployed.
3 wide.
Congratulations. It's all involved.
There's a lot of good things happening right here on the screen.
It's incredibly busy right there, isn't it? Like, should we actually turn into real race commentators for a second, or would that just ruin the vibe?
Let's calm it down.
We've
here.
obviously set a precedent that we don't do that around here, so we should stick to
All right,
that.
We
But-
just do
But there is an opportunity for hashtag Yeet Home Alabama to take place.
That is true. That's true. Getting ready for your yeeting.
That's
Hashtag. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it
Yes,
is.
the
There it is.
Fago machine.
Whoop whoop. Yeeted home from Alabama all the way to Florida.
All the way.
Oh, was it? Did he get Lincoln grilled? He got Lincoln grilled. That's what happened when a Link Marrow
That's what happens,
gets into
Donnie.
the South Solstice.
That's what happens, Donnie. This is what happened.
Dear
I'm
God.
glad you picked it up. Oh, those pictures.
All right, so I sent some pictures.
I see
to you
them.
guys
Thank
on the
you.
chat. So yeah, including one of the best DC Doug photos. That you don't want to see this one in your dreams.
Oh man.
So yeah, there's no relationship whatsoever between Sergeant Pepperoni's Pizza of Santa Ana in Orange County and Colonel Sausage's Pizza Shack. Just pure coincidental. Also, the editor forgot to change it to something more distant. It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
I think Sergeant Pepperoni's might still exist. Anybody there in Southern Orange County? You know, I think it was like a chain of like 3. So I'm not trying to libel Sergeant Pepperoni's, even though we're not in Britain, it doesn't matter. But when I worked there, they had signs posted at the topping line where you put the toppings on the pizzas that said if you were caught eating toppings, you would be turned over to the cops. This was actually unincorporated Orange County, so it'd be like the Orange County Sheriff would be cuffing and stuffing you in their 83 Ford LTDs because you'd eaten some peppers, you know. So naturally, all of us ate all the toppings we could till we were bursting at the seams because that's just insulting. Like, who cares if you eat some mushrooms on the pizza assembly line? Like, holy. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Go back to it.
So it still exists, and I think you're in the clear because they're obviously ripping off the Beatles.
Oh, fuck, the whole place is full of, like, apple bunkers and what were the snapping Turks? Like, they had these giant murals everywhere. I figured eventually, you know, whoever owned the... Actually, at the time, Michael Jackson owned all the publishing rights to the Beatles songs. I figured he was going to have his knee breakers come in and take care of them, you know. Anyway, I was never actually arrested for eating pizza toppings.
I believe there's only one in Newport Beach now.
The one I worked at was on Bristol Street because that's actually unincorporated Orange County. They want to say they're Newport Beach.
Yes. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so Newport Beach is like a mile and a half away, but I mean, I guess you could claim it since it's just unincorporated, but I mean, come on now.
There you go.
All right, then. So Sergeant Pepperoni still exists. They're going to be suing Eric because of this, and there we are.
They're going to be suing Jay, actually.
Now we're seeing the Colonel Sausage's Pizza Shack logo, which the Three Metal Mafia is very good about these theme designs. Yeah, there we go. Delivered hot and, what was that, slow right to your door?
Right to your back door.
Oh, back door, exactly.
Delivered.
I actually got some of the
delivered
stickers
hot and slow right to your back door.
It was, I have to say, I felt very honored. And the only reason this theme didn't get a lot more attention in the recap video and in the coverage was that was the same race that had the Moro Racing Pontiac Banshee and had the Knox Vegas Lowballers, you know, the Snowman's truck and the Bandit. And that was like some of the finest themes we've seen. And the NSF Studebaker. So really, they kind of got drowned out by these incredible themes. But it was a very good theme themselves. It was just one of those times where they happened to show up at a race that had some amazing stuff that just made it hard to cover everybody properly. Maybe we should go right up on this.
Did you mention the Fury? NSF's Fury was it?
That's true. Was that the debut for that one?
I think so.
That one, I was the one who ultimately banned the Fury for eternity from Lemons. We were at a CMP race, and we started going over the safety stuff on the Fury, and we realized that, I don't know if any of you mathematicians are, you know, into fractal theory, but the idea with fractals is no matter how deeply you probe into something mathematically, there's still more detail. No matter how deeply we looked at a weld or anything on that Fury, we'd find more safety problems. And eventually we realized this car had an infinite number of safety violations, and there would be no way of fixing it. So it ended up being Sasha's daily driver, and he was describing going on dates with this car. He was saying, even after he ended up putting a Porsche 944 hatch on it because initial dates complained they put their purse in the back and it would get rained on. It's like, okay, I find hatchback. You know, so he puts the 944 hatchback in there. And they just didn't understand the greatness of this car, and his dates were not very successful. But then he found this beautiful woman who actually likes going to Lemons races and loved him for his Fury rather than despite his Fury. I believe the Fury got crushed, actually, too, because that car was god-awful.
Well, we should point out, this is Sasha, one of our favorite racers from suburban D.C. and Maryland.
I'd say he's one of our favorite racers, period, really.
Yeah. He, for a while, he raced a Nissan Stanza wagon that...
He's a Nissan guy.
It existed entirely in his apartment complex as a storage locker. So he didn't want to rent a storage locker. And
there you go. It's sort of waterproof, you know.
So he paid like another $20 a month for a parking space in his apartment complex and just stored it. There you go. And then became a Lemons racer after he found out about Lemons. So
excellent.
So that car in your backyard that's crap could be a Lemons racer.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry, I had to mute to do some furious typing there.
Excellent.
So yes, Sasha is one of those people, like, we always love having him at a race, and we always worry about him, due to his fearless, glorious Red Army soldier at Stalingrad view of safety. So we are always trying to save Sasha from himself and his lack of fear. Because, like I said, if you have to kick those Nazi invaders out of Stalingrad, 1 million Sashas would be the way to do it. But if you want to have somebody build a safe race car, other supervision might be wanted, if you know what I'm saying. So we always double and triple check everything he touches.
The welds weren't great, is what you're trying to say.
Well,
among other things.
Sasha was the one that, he had a fuel cell bulkhead. Well, he had no fuel cell bulkhead in their Lotus Elite. There was nothing at all there. I said, no, you have to have a bulkhead of some kind. So they used, those like disposable turkey pans, those like tinfoil stuff. So they stuck a bunch of those together, and then they had the smaller, like the bunt cake one that's still made out of very thin tinfoil, with aluminum, that aluminum duct tape. It's like made of aluminum as a hinge. It's like, what's the problem? It's metal, right? It's all metal.
Bunt pan is actually brilliant because most of those have like a hole in the middle where the like it comes up in the middle. So there's a hole there for hose pass throughs. It's actually totally brilliant.
As I said,
for the
this
steering
car
column,
compared to
yeah.
the Fury, this car, which we ultimately got on the track, was a paragon of safety. The Fury, I don't know what it is. I mean, NSF, they've actually got some decent welding skill on the team, and Sasha can weld when he's forced to, but like I said, when you don't fear death, you don't worry too much about these things. And the really frustrating thing with dealing with Sputnik is, like, you can yell at Sasha till you're blue in the face about what exactly you want him to do, and he'll nod, agree with you and all that, and then he'll go and saws all the roof off the car, like, immediately after that. Like, you never got through to him. So, I mean, he's a genius, and at the same time, not really, communication with him is difficult. Maybe because he's on a higher, better plane than the rest of us.
Oh, brilliant. Totally brilliant.
Yeah.
Actual racecraft taking place out there.
I'm always happy to have Sasha at a race. I just try to save him from himself, if you know what I mean.
You have Bear Pope running second, by the way, on screen.
We're getting down to the wire here.
Winding down.
Oh, here we go. We got Knox Vegas Lowballers. Got them here. At least we got Gary here. It's got to be, I assume Gary Mitchell 2 is the same person as Gary Mitchell.
Yep, that's Gary.
Because there was another Gary Mitchell probably in the iRacing system.
Indeed.
So I assume that the Shorty Lincoln that they ill-advisedly won at the auction / arm wrestling contest at the Lemons Rally is still in the Knox Vegas Lowballers stable. That's a fine automobile.
I believe they had plans to bring it back this year.
Well, they have plans for an amazing engine that we were talking about. After we had a Drinker 19 at a CMP race, we all got brainstorming on engine ideas. I gotta say, if these guys make this engine happen, nobody else will ever bother to race in Lemons again, because the pinnacle will have been reached. And at that point, we start the next round of Lemons, which is $5,000 helicopter races. And how much would you pay to watch $5,000 helicopter races? I think spectator income is going to be pretty good, because you can buy helicopters pretty cheaply if you don't worry about FAA legality and all that. Right. And it turns out they're helicopter junkyards. I mean, everything about helicopters is quite affordable. So I figure, we get some sort of, stack up a whole bunch of hay bales to make pylons for them to fly around. And then we put the audience somewhere where they are not real likely to have helicopter parts raining on them.
7 states away.
Well, maybe binoculars would be advised. And, like I said, we're never going to do the Lemons horse racing, just because with the scenes of attempts at veterinary medicine would be too horrifying. People would be doing engine swaps and stuff on their horses. We don't want that.
We should do the $5 bike races at some point, though.
Well, we've thought about that. I really want to do that at a high plains race where you're racing for pole position, but we'd want to make sure that
Wow, look at
what I
that. Look
found.
at the inside of that
Look what I
car.
found. That was hidden.
That's good. So you can actually put stuff on the inside of your car. I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
on
really
the
good.
windshield. Yeah, the windshield banner. You can do the front and back of it on the
Oh,
Miata.
good. Can you do custom gauges?
No, not yet. There is
Okay.
talks about them doing some sandbox stuff in the future, though, so people can make their own stuff.
So if
I
you
mean,
VR,
okay.
you can look up and see that. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, that's most excellent. That's Santiago Iglesias, who I misspoke, by the way. I called him a rally co-driver last week. He's a rally driver, so he's certifiably insane.
Any relation
Yes.
to Julio?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the same person.
Okay, good. One of my favorite Butthole Surfers lines is Julio Iglesias jacked off in outer spacious. It's like, how can you top that? That's Shakespeare
good.
right there.
That's quite
Yeah.
the excellent form of prose.
Yeah.
I like it.
You know, when you come to a Lemons iRacing broadcast, it's indistinguishable from a NASCAR one, I assume.
They're one and the same. I think they're both going on at the same time right now.
What's
yeah.
more highbrow? It's sort of like IRL.
So
It's
if
a
I
lot
put
like
up the
IRL.
NASCAR
I
broadcast
guarantee you-
on the screen with our audio, it would sync
have-
up perfectly.
Yeah.
We have more literary references and more Donnie Iris references
We
than
do
any other
have
race
more.
series.
We are far superior with our references, no doubt.
Darrell Waltrip, by the way, noted pornographer, just like
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Can people masturbate to his work? Because in that way, he'd be better than me.
Somebody has, and I'm just gonna.
Every time you hear him say boogity boogity boogity,
Does he say it frequently?
it's just happening.
Because the snowman in Smoking the Bandit says boogity boogity boogity.
That's yep.
Yeah.
Even better.
You know, I actually didn't see Smoking the Bandit until I was I was at a Lemons race at like age 49. I had never seen the movie, even though I was 11 years old when it came out. I never saw it. I don't know why. And I was with Johnny Lieberman in a hotel room, and it came on TV, and we watched. It's like, man, this is a great movie. It's about 5 minutes long. I mean, in terms of its content, but hell of a movie. So then it's always stuck with me, the boogity boogity line. So now when I'm flying to go to a race, which we don't really do anymore, I have it on my phone as a video file, and I'll watch it just to kind of refresh myself. But then later on, Johnny and I were in a hotel room at a Lemons race, not the one where there was a pile of blood on the hotel room floor.
What's that over in the pits that's just literally melting down? What is that?
It's Florida man's
It's a
car.
salt.
Yep.
Unfortunately, iRacing does not have cars literally melt down. I would really prefer it if they did.
That's as close as you can get, which is pretty good.
It's a lot of smoke. Is he just revving the motor now?
Yep.
Donnie Iris guitar solo style. Actually, what instrument does Donnie play? Is he just singer, or does he actually bang on the guitar a little bit?
That's the ICP car that's on fire. So they
I was
obviously
gonna go
attempted to use magnets, and this is what happens.
Alternators require magnets. Oh no, actually, they have electromagnets, which is a whole other thing, as they say in ICP land. So I think he hit the drug bridge. Barber has some bridges that we could dub one of them the drug bridge.
I don't know if Barber management would appreciate that so much.
Well, do
Apparently,
you think they're paying any attention to this?
anytime we talk about Nelson's Ledges, the 2009 manager of the track gets pretty upset about it and will drop us a line.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
Because we call it
after every one of these broadcasts,
Pretty much. Yep.
he's dropped a line.
Because we imply that perhaps the track cuts a few corners on infrastructure, or is it because we call it Nelson's Ledges?
Well, I mean, they call it Nelson's Ledges. I'm pretty.
It's what everybody calls it.
Mhm.
I remember when we first showed up there, the office was a double wide, not very close to the track, and no shit, they'd actually acquired old flea-bitten hound dogs to sleep under the porch. I mean, that's how accurate it was in terms of West Virginia culture. They had the drug bridge from West Virginia, too, obtained at auction.
Amazing.
Steph is saying Barber's terrible. We like Barber, actually, Steph. We think Barber's a pretty nice place. Oh, but she was involved in the automotive journalist crash. between the Grassroots Motorsports Miata and the NSF Racing affiliated with Sputnik and the famous Sasha we were just talking about, Nash, the bathtub Nash Airflight. So she might have reason to think that Barber's not so great, but I mean, that could have happened anywhere. Well, anywhere with elevation changes, where when your Nash is crapping out because the carburetor's not working right, you get frying panned, or whatever they call skilleted by the Grassroots Motorsports. Man, I have to say, like, can't be a full coincidence that everyone involved in that unfortunate incident was an automotive journalist, or can it?
What can you say? Hey, there's Pat Mullery, by the way. Pat
Yeah,
Mullery,
he's like the lawyer of automotive journalists.
he's an attorney, and a good attorney. And if you're in construction and need an attorney, maybe he's your guy. Just say.
Oh, didn't realize that Donnie Iris was in Wild Cherry. Is he the singer?
No way.
I did not know that.
I know he was in a band before being Donnie Iris, so that makes
I mean,
sense.
what can you be before you're Donnie Iris? There's really, no. I figured he emerged up in the world fully formed.
If you're in
You have
a
to play
band,
that funky music before you talk about love being like a rock.
checks out.
What's on the side of this Jetta that we're staring at?
It's a Fox, because Tom Lamino of Team Farm raced a Volkswagen Fox for some time. Gave up on that car, sold it to Grassroots Motorsports magazine, fittingly. Well, he sold to somebody else who sold it to them, and races a Golf now. So, because the Fox is an atrociously bad car, it turns out.
I just realized the incident that Steph's talking about, and I was literally standing there when that happened. I totally remember that now. That was rather large. I am so sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, I just had a complete and total flashback. Wow.
So Steph Trey would like everyone to know that everything bad that ever happened to her at Barber was not her fault. But as I said, automotive journalist on automotive journalist incident. I mean, who can distribute fault accurately in such a situation? You know what I mean? Or maybe she's talking about other incidents there. But overall, Barber does not have more crashy behavior than any other track. I would say Sears is, just because it's so crowded and is so technical and has so many choke points, is probably your most likely place to crash. Not the track's fault, but I mean, it's,
I the guardrail. Do y'all ever go to Watkins or no?
we've not been there, no.
Yeah, that would be a total wreck waiting to happen.
I mean, like, the reason Sears is so
I
crowded is
worked at Barber for several years with Porsche, and I love it out there, man.
Barber's a great track. I mean, Sears is just crashy just because so many people want to race it, and there are just several points where we are counting on racers to kind of understand that they can't all fit there in that corner, and sometimes they don't all get that message. So there are a few points in at Sears where people don't want to lift, they don't want to give up the line, and then there's concrete to hit right after that.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Great place for me to being over there. Although, actually, Barber's good for shooting photos, too, because of the giant spider sculpture.
Yeah, all the background's great.
Yeah. I like Barber. I mean, I don't know. I always enjoy going there. We were a little miffed when the Porsche people wouldn't let our people show themselves until every Porsche owner departed, because they would be offended by the sight of Lemon's teams.
That was once, many years ago.
I know, but that stings. That stays with you. You know, that's like, oh, not you people. You know, it just feel like, especially since a lot of our racers were people who had bought new Porsches in the not too distant past. I mean, there was a certain amount of overlap too. And it's like, well, they're a part of this and they're not offended. So maybe, you guys, but I understand also, like, Porsche people, they're sensitive. You know, their cars are sacred. And, I mean, I'm not going to say that Ferdinand Porsche joined the Nazi party before it made sense to do so, but he sure did. He joined in, like, 1930s. So let's just say long before it would help his career, he was a full-fledged Nazi. So just putting that out there, Porsche people. You know, don't do with it what you will.
I am happy that you're using it as a two syllable word, though. I appreciate that greatly.
You like
Nazi? Nazi? Yeah, that's a two-syllable word. And that's what Ferdinand Porsche fucking was.
Exactly the word that I was talking about.
Okay, then.
That's
No,
the
actually,
one.
he joined long before 1930. I think it was like the 20s.
how fitting that there's a Volkswagen emblem on a Camaro. How about that?
Yeah, well,
That's the people's
of
Chevrolet.
course, when we're on the subject of that two-syllable word, Nazi, I might want to add that the only American mentioned by name in Mein Kampf is Henry Ford, the first.
Oh, dear God.
So, yeah. So, just saying, I mean, because I'm a member of some Model T Facebook groups, and boy, Henry Ford the first is a saint to them, and he had some warts. And not like Lemmy Kilmister warts, but I mean like actual warts, like spiritual warts.
Like a couple big ones.
Well, no, Lemmy had the kind of warts you want to have. Henry Ford had warts on his soul.
Headed down to the last 2.5 minutes.
We're so getting sued by everybody.
Remind you all to take a look for your next vacation at Sandals Resort Birmingham, all-inclusive getaway destination, where you'll be pampered with perks like daily 30 racks of Bud Light and access to your uncle's 87 iRock, what got some Jags heads and a big old cam. Be sure to sign up today for their special limited time offer for Mustang vs. Camaro trash talking lessons.
Does Jags do their own heads? I thought they just sold other people's heads. Do they have Jags branded cylinder heads? Because that'd be awesome.
All right, so your uncle who owns an 87 iRock does not understand that question.
Oh, I understand. They're just Jags. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. You buy them from the magazine. They show up when you order.
Okay, then. So we're going to get sued by everyone in the South. So who we got on our lawsuit list now? We've got Nelson Ledges, Ford, Porsche, Volkswagen, Automotive Journalists, Sergeant Pepperonis.
Yep. Chrysler doing after us, I'm sure, at some point.
I'm pretty sure after talking about your book for so long, BDSM enthusiasts are suing.
Sue, but Virgin might sue. I mean, I don't know. They're not going to sue. I'm giving them publicity. They might sell some more Kindle versions.
There you go.
I mean, 6,000 more copies, and I start getting royalties again, folks. So,
There you go.
all right, coming down to the wire here. We've got the leader's got a full lap on the competition, though. What kind of car is 48 here?
They're all Camaros. It's fine.
There's some non-Camaros here, but I guess all the important cars are Camaros.
That's right.
Okay, there we go.
That's priority. They race a Volkswagen in real life. Hence
They actually put bug splatters on their car. That's pretty good.
yeah.
Wow, that's a nice touch. I got to respect that. And actually, these guys have paid their dues in terms of broken parts at Lemons races.
You see the
Seconds to go.
four-man car in the background there? Whoop whoop.
I think he's a full lap behind, though.
We don't really worry too
I
much
just
about
don't think about laps. Don't think about winning.
Yep, exactly. It's the Nixon car back out there after Nixon's recent death.
I mean, those of you might remember that Richard Nixon and Charles Bukowski and Frank Zappa all died within like a month of each other. And Kurt Cobain.
Didn't know that.
It was all within a couple months anyway. Yeah, I know. Nixon was pretty old at that point. Charles Bukowski was real old.
Are we talked out? I feel like we're talked out.
All right, okay, here we go.
I'm
Final
just
lap.
thinking, sorry. Nixon had about
Yeah,
the,
it was
mesmerizing
drama.
here.
Yeah.
Nixon head in a jar is the next.
Actually,
that.
I have a Nixon head in the jar that was given to me as a bride that I need to set up as a shrine in my garage. One of those things I was going to do in lockdown that I got around to.
Put that on top of your fireplace, man.
Well, my garage doesn't have a fireplace. I guess I could make one.
Put it in your house, dude. That deserves a place of honor.
I mean, I think we're all biting our nails now. I think that number 000 may actually catch up to the leader here.
It's possible.
Probably not. Can we push a button and just cause the leader to explode?
I think
Just to add
lost.
drama.
We lost second place. I'm not sure if they were finished but they're gone.
No.
Man, did they rage quit? Surely not.
You rage quit out a second.
You can rage quit out a second. Why not?
As one of the Jedi.
You can also have somebody unplug your.
Maybe the race is over. Hey, we missed. That's how we do it. Wow.
Aren't broadcasters supposed to know these things?
My God.
Virtual racing.
Well, no, I mean, there was still time left on the clock, but I guess it didn't. Must have counted the pace lap or something, but yeah.
We've got some pretty fatal-looking crashes going on.
Oh my God. Oh, nice hip check. Incoming. Incoming.
I think the race is terrible.
This is how you do it. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, it went right through it.
Miata fail.
Literally, the Miata went right through the
breakdancing Jetta. Excellent.
There's a breakdancing Jetta in one.
Yes.
You do.
Oh, there it goes.
Brought to you by Sandals.
Yes. Style points.
Did you say
Fago car?
points?
Ooh, Fago car just got. Ooh, look at that! Wow, that had the potential to be amazing. Do a barrel roll. Oh, here comes out of the pits. Perfect. Bished.
I think Steph is suffering from Barber derangement syndrome here. She really doesn't like Barber. Even though
Bish got
Barber's
his
the
breakdance. Oh, there goes the Bish breakdance. Bish breakdance.
Really good.
How is that even?
Oh, wow.
How are they just like the Jetta can't be touched?
Never lift.
It only exists on our screen.
The Ghost Jetta.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
Okay, left or right. All right, there we go. I feel like we should be hearing some, like 1982 rap, going with this, like some breakdancing music. Like some Grandmaster Flash.
Right. Wow.
It's when it bounces.
How is that doing that? Like,
I think there might be some inaccuracies in the physics model here. I mean,
Impossible.
How iRacing is suing. The physics are perfect. You don't even say that.
Well, we're getting sued by so many organizations and people that it doesn't really matter if they pile on. I mean, go ahead, fine.
Oh, Mustang.
They'll just sue Jay anyway, and Jay's already incorporated in Slovenia, so good luck with
Coming
that.
back for more. Nice. The two lemon Jettas hit.
And by Jay, I mean violent Jay, because Insane Clown Posse
He's
now
so
owns
violent.
lemons.
Of course.
Just kidding, ICP. Don't sue us.
Incoming Miata. Oh.
No, I'm serious. Like, if Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope want to be the judges in a race, I mean, open invitation. Any race you guys want, we'll have you.
Absolutely.
I think they'd be good at it.
Folks, if I've got this tally right here at the end, I'm going to go ahead and say we've had 20 fatalities.
I think we've got a 100% fatality rate.
I think we got more breakdancing.
Coding and hella did.
Well, they're buried at the Sandals Resort Birmingham.
That's right.
Well, we have a special racer section in the graveyard.
Services will be held in the inflatable church outside.
Donnie Iyer was trying to escape the car intent on hitting him, and he did it.
There actually is an inflatable church outside turn 13 here during big race weekend.
Another breakdancing Jetta.
Surprised.
Reminds me of the story from Autobahn when they had the inflatable bouncy
That is
castle that got
incredible.
loose in a windstorm and tumbled across the infield, shedding children.
Wow.
But it's like, yeah, the things you learn about running these
back for
events.
more. Donnie Iris is
It's
back
Chicago
for more.
Autobahn, the track that holds water worse than I've ever been to in my entire life.
The track that has what?
Get you
It
some,
holds
Donnie
water
Iris.
worse than any track I've ever seen, ever in the history of ever. Like,
He's going hunting.
But Nelson's Ledges, I think, holds the prize for the most amount of water everywhere in the facility, including the hotel room with the pile of blood, which isn't even at the track.
Chicago Autobahn, though, it can rain and stop raining, and then like 12 hours later, the entrance and exit to every corner still has a 20-foot long, like 6-foot deep puddle.
Yeah, but if you're shooting photographs of the race, that really makes it better because you get all the big rooster tails and stuff. So I like that.
Some spray. That's all I want.
I get a lot of good spray shots at Autobahn, so I have no complaints.
and other places.
Well, yeah, but I mean, consistently, I think I get some of my best rain photos there. Although in New Jersey, gets some good rain too.
Fago spray, like Fago Cody.
Serious point, because we always race there during the rainy season in California. They get some incredible good drainage problems there.
Yeah, I have seen California Speedway. I've seen that completely flood before. It was awesome. I actually got to rip the inner fender wells out of a Super B. It was a lot of fun during hot laps there. It was really, really felt safe. It was just an awesome event. iRacing needs to add Nelson ledges. Yes, Nelson's ledges.
It's not a useful thing until we have smell-o-vision, so you can get the overrun toilet smell for accuracy.
They don't use toilets there. They just use the ground.
Well, isn't there there's like a mini lake in the middle of that place, right? Just use that.
It means you have to go more than 10 feet away from your pit space. I mean, I think the decline of norms of civilization happens very quickly at Nelson Ledges. I mean, by the end of the weekend, like, language isn't even being used anymore. It's too complicated.
Animal bones is basically what happens.
Exactly, yeah. Just grunting at each other, and then, oh man, I need to excrete. Okay, just right on the spot.
Park on backstretch, walk through gate.
No, that's too far.
Oh, I'm not if you're already on the backstretch.
Just turn your back, you know. I mean, you mean when they're in the car, right? Yeah.
Pee off the bleachers? Is that where we're going?
I don't think they have bleachers at Nelson Ledges or Nelson's Ledges.
I think, yeah,
if they did have bleachers, they'd be real affordable bleachers.
They're old. They're really old. Like,
well, they're old, but bleachers rejected by Kazakhstan for being too dangerous.
Wood was taken off of Washington's boat from crossing to Delaware. It's like they're that old. It's old. Oh, that too.
Yep.
Spec Cayenne at Eldora. Okay. All right.
Dynasty,
an idea.
Like anything. Although I think Spec Suzuki Aereo would be a good one. At the Circle K parking lot in Gardena, California.
I think anything in the Circle K parking lot is really peak motorsports.
Well, I mean, Suzuki Aero, Suzuki Reno, Suzuki XL7. What was it? Grand Vitara. Was there a regular Vitara, or were they always just Grand Vitaras?
They're all grand.
There was no Pontiac Prix. It was always the Grand Prix.
The Black Miata just got eat home to Alabama all the way to Mobile right there. I don't know if y'all saw that. That was pretty special.
See it?
Yeah, it is. Maybe it's a Mustang.
Take it on. Good Lord, what's happening?
And then the Camaro ended up facing backwards as a perfect ramp for somebody running down the main street without slowing down.
What happens in iRacing when cars go into the spectators? Can that happen? Because we should try to encourage them.
Yeah.
We can encourage them to do this. They're crashing at a corner where they can hit the spectators.
We'll get there. We need Pro 2 trucks for Trash Racing Tuesday coming up here on Tuesday. So
yes.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yep. And long gone. Far away.
Total 88 mile an hour.
And that's down over to the Bass Pro Shops, which is just down the highway.
The right direction for that, I'm pretty sure.
I think that is actually.
Bass Pro Shops, or as I like to call it, How to Kill Everything.
Well, they have an extensive selection of camouflage and firearms there, and it's right by the hotel we always stay at. So, if we need any kind of equipment. Well, I went there. The first race I went there, it was way colder and rainier than I was expecting. I didn't have a good rain jacket, so I went to the Bass Pro Shops right next to the track, and my choices were camouflage Duck Dynasty wear for a jacket, or red, which you really aren't supposed to wear at a racetrack because it looks like a red flag. So I went with red because I wasn't going to wear Duck Dynasty. I am sorry, folks. But
whatever you bought, you got well and truly overcharged for. There's no doubt.
well, Jay paid for it. I just expensed it. So I also bought a couple of 9s while I was at it too.
Perfect. Did you get any bass fishing equipment while you were there? A
What?
accoutrement, if you will.
I didn't really fully participate in the Bass lifestyle brand. Or the Bass Pro Shops is actually more about the musical instrument than the fish.
Pick up a 7-string while you were there. It's perfect.
I don't know. Maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong all this time.
It's a wall of fenders when you walk in. It's perfect.
The post race, just nothing but racers dying.
Yep, 20. I counted 20.
Racers dying and the commentators not talking about it.
If there's some way that at least the amount of G-force experienced in the crashes could be registered and displayed to us.
Yes,
So you
yes,
Oh,
yes,
don't cut away
actually.
from that. He had that lined up perfectly. That was the most ominous looking. There it is.
There we go. Changes aren't made for
Ooh.
that kind of impact.
Oh,
Like getting
my
hit
God.
underneath.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
More are coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
that's bad.
I'm just gonna be quiet and appreciate this. You guys can.
All right, here we go. Climbing the wall.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. We need that Flight of the Valkyries going on right now.
Copyright claims, man. Copyright claims.
We're getting sued by.
And we're demonetized. It took us over 2 hours to get demonetized tonight.
Did this happen? Were we ever monetized?
No.
Okay, so I was gonna say. Man, I got my YouTube, the Merely Martin YouTube, demonetized because I had seen from a Lemons Paddock where somebody
Wow.
drives by in the background like a half a second of a song playing. No bad.
The Pink Panther is gone.
Those cars coming down the hill to 5 there, man, needed a dun, dun, dun,
Oh, that fence is doing some serious work.
It's much stronger than a real one would be.
Horseback.
I just wish that more stuff would fly off the cars when they crash. That would be my future request.
They're the K&N, the ARCA cars actually have the damage model where the hoods fly up and the ball joints break.
I mean, like the yard sale of parts, that comes off.
Ooh, there's a whole lot going on right there. That's great. Catch fence doing work. Wow, that Miata.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good catch, man.
That looked like most extreme elimination challenge with the
Yes.
Velcro suit.
Yes.
They didn't stick to the wall.
I love that show, by the way. I'm watching the black Miata shoot its way under these cars that were flipping. Watch the Miata. Let me get a better shot. There you go. Yeah, watch the Miata. Wow.
Oh, that's perfectly timed.
That
Wow.
was really good timing. Yeah.
It's still dead.
That is how you avoid death.
No, he'd be dead. He just hit the wall backwards at 140 miles an hour. He's dead.
He wasn't. I don't think he was going 140.
It's just
But
he
yeah,
died differently.
we
Well, I
can
don't know,
check.
slow
We
it
can
down.
check. We can use the datas.
I mean, he hit the wall at a strange
wait.
angle.
We're gonna deploy data.
All
We're
right,
gonna
here.
actually.
I can actually pull up the G-forces.
All right, so he hits the wall sideways, so the side of his head just slammed into the side of his cage. And then another car tumbles over him. I mean, he's so dead. It's just virtual death, though. It's fine.
Now that I've said most extreme elimination challenge, all I can think of was Troy Babaganoush. I don't know why that's popping into my head. It's just it won't go away. Damn it, Doug. Damn it, Doug. We need a Dean. Is he gonna go hit the pace car?
Is there still a pace car?
Yeah, the pace car is actually a really. It's
That's the only thing that hasn't been wrecked.
what? What's that?
It's the specials. No big deal.
Yeah, it's the Judge Roughneck. Back when Davey Johnson was alive, he was going to judge a lemons race with a black and white checkered judge robe and be Judge Roughneck because he was a big ska fan.
Shit's getting way too complicated for me.
And now there's an earthquake. Okay, no.
Yeah, Takeshi's Castle, man.
Can you hit the spider, the giant spider sculpture at least?
Oh, such a good show.
Or the motorcycle museum. Like, actually take out the motorcycle museum, raining motorcycles.
All 170,000 square feet of it.
That is a hell of a motorcycle museum. I don't even care about motorcycles that much, and that museum is incredible. And, as the very important race organizers, we are allowed into the motorcycle museum when it's closed, when nobody else is there. So, and we know not yet have we hotwired one of the bikes and ridden it up and down the ramps. That anyone knows.
Probably a good idea. The armed guards probably wouldn't take kindly to that.
No, there's nobody there. They just let us in. It's fine. We could have done that, but since we're trustworthy, we did not. We also did not allow the Porsche people to see our racers because it would have harmed them mentally.
What's that?
But yeah, actually, the motorcycle museum there is so complete. They not only have a Honda Super Cub, which is the most produced motor vehicle in history, they have a Honda Cub, the original Cub, which was like a conversion kit for a bicycle that Soichiro Honda made in the ruins of Tokyo in 1946. They've got one of those, which is pretty amazing.
It is the world's largest motorcycle museum. It's freaking
well, the whole facility is legally speaking a museum for tax reasons, so it's pretty brilliant, actually. It's pretty brilliant, actually. Which was like a conversion kit.
The Lotus collection's not too shabby either.
Like Nelson Ledges is legally speaking a Superfund site for several decommissioned reactors. Ha, just kidding, Nelson's Ledges. Don't sue us.
So
that was not real. I didn't actually say that. So, just like I never suggested that Lemonade Racing should do an Enver Hoxha theme. They came up with that just on their own. Actually, yes, AFK Jim, someone has done a Guy Fieri-themed Fiero in Real Lemons. It was Salty Thunder Racing out of Utah. And in fact, I was just out of my garage today where I have a giant Follow Me to Failure Town sticker on my toolbox, on my big toolbox from that team. So yeah, they actually had the Guy Fiero costumes. They had Guy Fiero bad food and the whole deal. It was a very good theme. So yes, it's been done.
I'm wearing my Salty Thunder Racing Fiero Fjord versus Fiero shirt.
I didn't even know that such a shirt existed, and so there you go. Yeah. I have my Salty Thunder Make Lemons Great Again cap. Actually, was that Salty Thunder or was that somebody else? That was Salty Thunder, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how?
Chris Champion would like it was two Fieros. Yeah, of course. Okay, I mean, there's more than one, but I mean, the theme was Guy Fiero. Can we make that louder? I really need to dean it up more.
Plenty loud for the people.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, we can always do...
I've earned everything I've got.
If we have to. And then just as the non-sequitur comment of the night, A456987 just adds Captain Tennille.
That's right.
Yeah. A list of things that have been done. Sorry, AFK Jim, that sounds like work, and we don't really do that. But if you want a good theme idea, all you have to do is email me or email Eric and say, hey, I need a theme idea, and we'll give you a good one. A theme idea. You can't go wrong with one of our theme ideas. You might not understand the reference, unlike Lemonade Racing, who understood all too well the Enver Hoxha reference. But you would get a good theme idea if you went with our idea. Our team theme would be good. Spiro Agnew theme, we've been trying to get one of those for a while. We can't, speaking of themes, why hasn't a team with a South Korean car done a Syngman Rhee theme? One of my very favorite blood-soaked South Korean military dictators, Syngman Rhee. No one's done that theme. You could go ahead and get your Hyundai, I'm going to say XG300, a car we really would like to see that we would put in Class C, and do a Syngman Rhee theme. He was kind of one of your seriously classic, you offend him, you go to a kangaroo court, and you're executed that day. Oh, now South Korea is going to sue us. Man, the list just keeps getting bigger. Actually, South Korea transitioned to democracy starting in 1987. And those of you who are Hyundai Excel aficionados might take note. The Excel got way better when South Korea stopped being a military dictatorship. Turns out, military dictatorships don't build the best cars. Like, look at Brazil. The Willys Itamaraty, pretty decent car, but if they hadn't been a military dictatorship at the time, would have been even better. Now Brazil's going to sue us.
The list grows. The list grows ever longer.
Can we get everyone that's gonna sue to line up and sue each other for the right to sue?
We kind of wonder. I noticed the comment about Kim Jong-un. It always worries me a little bit with all of we have a lot of North Korea themed teams. ISOR's done a pretty good one and all that. What if Kim Jong-un just happens to be, scrolling through the internet and comes up and finds one of our many North Korean mocking of him or his father or his grandfather themes and decides, that's it, I'm launching my nukes. I'm launching them at LA right now because this race team has offended me so much. I mean, no one will sue us at that point because it won't matter, but I worry a little bit about that. Not enough to tell these guys to stop, but I feel like, what if that's just the act that pushes Kim Jong-un over the edge?
I mean, there's a nuke that's going to hit the ocean about 40 miles off the coast of North Korea.
They probably wouldn't actually use one of their sketchy-ass Pakistani knockoffs of an Iranian copy of a Chinese ballistic missile design. They'd put it on a container ship and just bring it right into the port. But I'm saying what might make that happen would be randomly searching for, he's searching for himself on Google, finds one of the Lemons teams that's done a mocking of the Kim family theme, and like, this is it. That's it. It's on. I just worry about that now and then. I mean, as I said, not enough to tell the teams to stop it.
This means that there's going to be a container ship that blows off about 30 miles out in the ocean off the coast of North. Oh, never mind.
Well, I think putting the nuclear weapon in the container technology.
Reliable.
Well,
are we going to end it on their weapons are less than reliable?
I think that's it. I think with cars on fire and launching into the air in turn one, this is as good a place as any to play us out.
Taunting a dictatorous regime. It's perfect.
I think that's right.
I believe the word is despotic is what we wanted there. But okay.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching on Memorial Day weekend. We can't think of a better way to celebrate than by doing our damnedest to start World War III.
Bulls is Nazi again? I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Did you know that Ferdinand Porsche just I reviewed a biography of Ferdinand Porsche one time that did not mention his affiliation with the Nazi Party, and I mentioned that. And the author came after me. I mean, he actually came to a Lemons race where I was working to yell at me about that. He's like, that is not relevant. It's like, wait, there's a biography of him. It's not a history of his products. It's a history of him. And you don't mention this? Just saying. And it didn't mention the Volkswagen Beetle, which, while the design was stolen from other engineers, was probably the most consequential vehicle that Ferdinand Porsche was ever responsible for, kind of. Didn't mention that either because of the Nazi affiliations. So, just saying, you Porsche people, I mean, sure, you love your cars and all that, and they're sacred, but the founding father of your car company was a Nazi before it was worthwhile to be a Nazi.
And this is how we all do it.
Sue me! Actually, sue Jay. Porsche's not going to sue us over that because they know it's true.
I look forward to our joint subpoenas and our testifying.
I got my joint subpoena right here.
Oh, somebody save us. Ryan, please talk us out.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Shit's getting way too complicated for me.
That's exactly right. The breakdancing Jettas will be our visual display on the playout, and we'll be back. Let's see, when are we coming back? Tuesday. Excellent.
I believe.
Sounds good to me.
Congratulations to the number 48 car in that team.
Oh yeah, results of racing. Yeah, those were.
We won a thing. Good job.
I would get the IOE on this one. Did we have any? IOE were the horrible controllers. I saw some extreme.
There was some extreme inputs going on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right.
I'm not going to sort that out now, but
Yeah, there's the top 10. So yeah, congrats.
Literally all the enthusiasm has been sucked out of the broadcast booth. Yeah, there's the top 10 right there.
There's the Jetta doing a burnout. That's pretty cool. I like that better.
Well, this is the 24 Hours of Lemons of virtual racing. So what did you people expect? You people.
Oh,
All right. And
who are
then
you calling you people?
This broadcast again is brought to you by the Graveyard in Turn 1, Yeet Home, Alabama.
That's perfect. Perfect.
So see you guys Tuesday night, and we'll do this all over again. In a slightly different modified format.
Bye now.
Wow. There goes the water boy. Wow. All right. Well,
That's
thanks,
some
guys.
high quality H2O.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Good
Bye
night,
now.
everybody.